It's Thursday, October 16th.
We will make sure that we push the company and we hold them to account.
Ottawa says they'll exercise all options, including legal ones, if Stellantis doesn't honor their commitments.
So I heard one, and then I heard two after that. But they weren't like bang, bang, bang.
Witnesses are sharing what they saw and heard when police shot and killed a woman in Eastern Passage, Nova Scotia.
Here's a high fly ball off of the bat of Jimenez that's carrying well. Robles turns and watches it fly. It's the 9-hitter, Andres Jimenez, of all people.
The Jays' bats come alive Wednesday night in Seattle, smashing 5 home runs in a 13-4 Game 3 win. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl Rummelt.
And I'm Kayleen Swatsky. We hope your day is off to a great start.
Good weather yesterday. More of the same today.
A little bit warmer today, although that southeast corner, Estevan, that rain's going to be falling today.
All right, we'll get into that in just a moment. First, let's get to your headlines for this part of the hour. Talks for a Canada-U.S. trade deal are back on in Washington.
The pressure is really growing now for Canada and the U.S. to reach a deal.
CTV News has confirmed Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is back in Washington for negotiations. Minister LeBlanc called talks last week successful and positive, but left Washington without a deal. Ottawa is said to be looking for short-term deals to find relief for specific industries like steel, aluminum, and energy. Nova Scotia's serious incident response team is investigating after a woman was shot and killed by police. This witness describes what happened before officers arrived.
Somebody was fighting or having a disagreement or whatever, right? But then once the police showed, it really escalated from there.
RCMP officers were called to a home in Eastern Passage on Tuesday afternoon. There was a knife at the scene. Investigators say police tasered the woman, but she kept coming. That was when one of the officers opened fire. The woman was pronounced dead soon after that. No one else was injured in the incident. The union representing 3,000 workers at Brampton's Stellantis plant isn't holding back on what they think of the company's actions.
Disrespectful and disgusting behavior by the company.
Those workers, along with union management, found out about the news same time on Tuesday by robocall. Experts say there could be a knock-on effect throughout Canada's auto industry as well if the plant closes. That's because there are hundreds of millions of dollars of investment in parts manufacturers meant to supply that plant. A Regina man will spend life in prison for first-degree murder. 25-year-old Britton Volk was sentenced yesterday in the murder of 35-year-old Aaron Lunan. The victim's friends and family were in the courtroom, several reading victim impact statements.
When she had to break the news to them that their uncle was shot and killed. So it's very difficult to hear families suffering such as this, and this is why the criminal justice system treats murderer with a mandatory life imprisonment sentence.
The sentence includes a lifetime prohibition on firearms and no possibility of parole until Volk has served at least 25 years. 37-year-old man has been charged following a crash that closed the University Bridge yesterday. Jeremy Dodge on this for us. Jeremy, tell us about this situation.
Thank you, Daryl. Good morning. Yeah, it happened just before 9 o'clock in the morning on that major commute through the city. This was the scene we have here at about 9:30 in the morning. Police say they were told about a black car driving erratically in the wrong lanes and not obeying traffic signals. A patrol officer tried to pull over the vehicle on 7th Avenue North, but it sped off. The vehicle then collided with a truck on the University Bridge. The driver of the car charged with dangerous driving, evading police, and impaired driving. Nobody was seriously injured. A jury in a Saskatoon manslaughter case is scheduled to be charged this morning. The judge expected to deliver his instructions to the jury on how to apply the law to reach a verdict. Roderick Sutherland has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains in connection to the death of 30-year-old Megan Gallagher. The court heard Gallagher was killed about 5 years ago inside a Saskatoon garage while she was restrained to a chair. Key evidence in the case is a recorded video statement Sutherland gave to police and testimony from Bobby Thomas, one of the people who was in the garage. All right, Daryl, back to you.
Thank you, Jeremy. Prominent Regina lawyer Tony Merchant has died. Merchant died on Thanksgiving Monday at age 81. He was best known for representing residential school survivors in a $1.9 billion settlement against the federal government. The 2005 class action lawsuit is the largest in Canadian history. He also served in the legislature from 1975 to 78 as Liberal MLA for Regina Wascana. Service for Tony Merchant will be held next week. More than 2 months after the strike, there are still Air Canada customers waiting for refunds.
They just try to go around it to give the clients a hard time, and hopefully many will tumble from that big group of people.
This woman from Montreal paid $16,000 out of pocket while she was delayed in Dublin. She says Air Canada is paying her about $12,000 of that, but she hasn't got any money yet. Air Canada says more than 500,000 customers were affected by the flight attendant strike. The airline says it expects to have most claims resolved by the end of the month. What could be one of the largest geological rock findings in Saskatchewan was recently found near Swift Current. When gathering dirt from about 20 feet underground, the Gillies family came across a concretion, a 50-ton rock formed about 80 million years ago. After making some phone calls and sending emails around to different curators of museums, the geology department from the U of S confirmed what that finding was, and it is significant.
Comes out of really unlithified sediment, and so therefore it really is a cemented, if you like, a cemented boulder inside unlithified or poorly lithified sediments, and that's really what a concretion is. It really represents a geochemical precipitate in a sphere or an oblong or even a bed sometimes.
After taking a sample, Pratt says his team will examine the finding to see what kind of minerals it holds. The Regina Food Bank has kicked off its largest campaign of the year. The Mosaic Million Meal Challenge is a citywide initiative to raise food and money for thousands of residents in need. Monetary donations can be made online at any food bank location or at Mosaic Tower. Mosaic is matching the first $75,000 in donations.
When we talk about every dollar donated equaling 3 meals, it's not because we can go to a grocery store and affect that kind of value. It's because we do work with farmers, with producers, with wholesalers. So when you donate $1, you really are creating 3 meals for people in our community.
That fundraiser runs until early November. The Toronto Blue Jays will try to draw even in the ALCS tonight.
Since 2010, Vlad Jr. sends a high drive to deep center field. Rodriguez to the wall, it's gone. First pitch of the 5th, Vlad Jr. launches a solo shot.
Vladimir Guerrero Jr. with a big home run as the Jays' bats came alive. They beat the Mariners 13-4 last night. The Jays scored 5 runs in the 3rd inning alone. Game 4 goes tonight at 6:33 p.m. Saskatchewan Roughriders expected to rest several starters this week.
You got to let it all hang out there like you are a starter, like you are a guy that plays every week. So regardless of what the situation is that we're in, we are going to play as well as we can. I think guys need to be able to prove that when they step on the field, you know, there is no drop-off, and you got to be able to execute just like the guys in front of you have.
Trevor Harris, AJ Ouellette, Micah Johnson, a few others saw limited or no practice time so far this week. You should expect Jake Mayer, who you heard from off the top, to start at quarterback. Despite lineup changes, the expectations from the coaches remain unchanged.
We expect you that when you get out there to play winning football, and we believe what our winning football, our brand is, and we think that everyone that we're putting out there can do that, and we're expected to go out there and play and play hard and then come back 1-0.
The game is, of course, tomorrow in Winnipeg. We turn our attention to the weather picture with Kayleen Sawatsky.
Good morning. Well, we're taking a look outside this morning where we're seeing not a lot because it's still rather dark out there. The sun coming up later on, closer to about 7:30 in both cities. But this morning view is brought to you by RecycleMyElectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Currently sitting at 7 degrees. That's warmer than what we saw all morning yesterday. Temperatures are going to be higher today into the afternoon. We're not really seeing too many winds this morning, really anywhere in the province. The winds also not really going to be increasing increasing all too much into the afternoon. We are going to be seeing those increase into the weekend, however. We are waking up to some foggy conditions in many places across the province as well, Saskatoon included, where we're sitting at -1 degree. Now, the radar and satellite showing that rain that we saw yesterday in the province. We also saw it into those overnight hours. We're not going to be seeing it as much into the central zones today. It's really concentrating down in that southeast corner, Estevan. Already seeing some of that rain this morning and going to be continuing on to see it later on into the morning, into the afternoon, and into the overnight hours. You can see it almost reaches Regina there. Right now, we're looking at about a 40% chance of seeing it into the evening hours. This is at about 8:15. Could be seeing it around midnight as well. Other than that, though, we're just expecting to see a whole lot of cloud cover in the Regina area today. As we continue on into Friday morning, we see most of that rain pushing away from the southeast corner. We see just a little bit into those central zones and then down through the southwest corner into later in the afternoon on Friday. Saturday looking really clear from any precipitation in the province, but we are going to be seeing just a little bit of that cloud cover sticking around. Now, if you're wondering today how much rain down in that southeast corner, well, it's not going to be light, let's put it like that. By 3:30 p.m., we're currently projecting to get about 12 millimeters of rain, and then total rain by the end of the day looking like it could be up to about 30 millimeters of rain. So keep that in mind if you're planning your day and into your evening. Temperatures, though, looking like they're going to be right around that seasonal average. So Regina at 12 degrees today, Moose Jaw up to 12, and Swift Current up to 12. 11 degrees expected in Weyburn with that rain also falling there, and about 10 degrees for Estevan. Now, the 5-day forecast looking like temperatures are going to be really nice until your next work week, where we see those temperatures drop to about 6 degrees on Monday and some more rain on the way that day. In Saskatoon, seeing that high of 11 degrees to carry us through the weekend, and then dropping down to 7 degrees with some of that rain falling on Monday.
Canada's health ministers are in Calgary for 2 days of meetings. Federal, provincial, and territorial health ministers will discuss interprovincial recognition of credentials and funding agreements. The Office of Federal Health Minister Marjorie Michel says she's also hoping to discuss mental health and addiction issues, as well as vaccination programs. While in Calgary, the ministers will also meet with national doctors and nurses organizations, which are calling for new ways to support and retain health workers.
In part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
Well, in case you missed it, this is who you should be looking out for on Halloween this year. An annual consumer survey says the top Halloween costumes for kids this year going to be Spider-Man, with more than 2 million children planning to dress up as Spidey. Meanwhile, others in the top 5 are absolute classics: Princess, Witch, and Ghost. As for dogs, this year is Pumpkin.
Oh, dressing dogs as pumpkins. I like that. Jeremy's going to be a big fan of that.
Yeah, don't do the pet costumes. Just don't do it.
My little guy's going to be a Ninja Turtle. Have you figured out what Sadie's going to be?
Sadie's going to be a lobster, and my husband and I will be chefs.
Yes.
Put her in a little pot of water.
Carry her around.
Excellent.
I haven't figured out what Arya's going to be yet. What are your kids going to be? Is they still dressing up a little bit? I mean, they're older.
There has been no discussion of such things. No. They're teenagers. I'm not sure.
We should FaceTime them. We should FaceTime them in and see, you know, get their opinions on.
It's a good idea,
their costumes. And
they'd love that.
And the pickle wagon. Questions of the day is where we go to next. What's the coolest thing that you've ever found? We just had that story about the people who just found that rock creation on their land. So what's the coolest thing you've ever come across?
You know what? Mine might sound lame, but to me, the coolest thing to me was that after our house burned down, we kind of lost a lot of memories. I found my dad's old video camera, and I got some of the footage off of it. So I have that. So that's my coolest thing to me.
Wow.
Do you have one?
That was both dark and light. JD?
I haven't found any things, but I recall as a child, I found a $20 bill was like poking out of the snow. And at that time, I was so rich. I still remember it to this day. I remember it was on Bradbury Drive in front of Vickers School.
You remember when
somebody right now is like, I lost a 20 in 1978, and that's where it went. Text your name and your answer to 10400. Standard message rates may apply. Scan the QR code on your screen as we take a look over Saskatoon. Fill up your coffee. Your Morning Saskatchewan continues right after this.
Construction on Foran's McIlvena Bay mine, southwest of Creighton, is now 60% complete. It will be Saskatchewan's first copper mine in 30 years and is set to start production next year. Once operational, the mine could produce up to 4,900 tons of copper, zinc, gold, and silver each day over an 18-year lifespan. Foran says the mine will help meet the growing demand for copper, a metal essential for electricity conduction. Copper is found in homes, buildings, cell phones, and is critical for electric vehicles and AI data centers.
The demand for critical minerals is only increasing as we go through the energy transition of the next few decades, of course, in particular for copper, but also zinc as well.
Foran aims to make this Canada's first carbon-neutral copper mine. The project has drawn national attention, with Prime Minister Mark Carney naming it one of 5 nation-building projects to be fast-tracked. Meanwhile, the province says the mine will boost Saskatchewan's economy.
This is a significant investment of $1 billion into our economy here in Saskatchewan, which is providing the opportunity for jobs and supports for families.
The Minister of Energy and Resources adds the project advances the province's critical minerals strategy, which aims to double mineral output and increase mineral exploration spending by 15% by 2030. When fully operational, the mine is expected to support 400 jobs. Stacey Hine, CTV News, Saskatoon.
All right, time to check in with Mike Siona, who is out on the go at the YMCA in Saskatoon. Mike, what you getting up to?
Well, we're talking about free fitness and memberships for seniors. So let's talk about that. Over 80 years old, I think, is the deal. But don't take it from me. We've got Alan Long, who is the Director of Philanthropy down here, and Deanne Mercier, the CEO, to tell us all about it. What is this I'm hearing? If you're over 80, this is the place to be for free?
Exactly. Yeah, we're offering free memberships for anyone 80 and over. We're looking for you to come on down and check us out and see the great programs we have for seniors here.
That is awesome. Now, what precipitated all of this?
We have a lot of 80-plus members already, and we're doing a lot of senior-focused things. We have members that have come from, remember, working out at our old building. This building has been here since 1969, so they remember working at our previous building in Spadina. And, yeah, we just want to help with fall prevention, balance, flexibility, all those important things to allow people to live independently.
I love that, and no doubt they've earned it if they've been coming to the Y since pre-1969. Alan, obviously it takes a gargantuan fundraising effort to do this, and it's not just seniors that benefit from that.
Yeah, we do all kinds of health and wellness here and partnerships in the community. So for newcomers with Open Doors Society and Global Gathering Place, and students and low-income families. So if you qualify, and you just have to come down and talk to our staff, but you can get up to 70% off your membership. And then once you have a membership, you've got access to all the facilities here, the programs, the fitness classes, swim lessons, family swim time, all those things.
Yeah, it truly is quite a room. I don't think we have time to list all of the amenities.
Yeah.
You did a pretty good job right there. So if somebody wants to get involved on the donation side to help eliminate some of those financial barriers for people in our community, how do they get in touch?
They can just go to our website and click the donate button, and it's 3 or 4 clicks and you're done your donation. You can also come down in person and ask for me, or donate through the front desk. So yeah, we'd love to see you and put your money to good use.
Fantastic. All right, well, there you go. We'll see what else we can find here as the morning continues at the YMCA.
All right, Mike, looking forward to it. We'll talk to you again at 7:15.
Time to look at your school day forecast, brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zones safe. If you're heading outside to catch the bus in either Regina or Saskatoon, we are seeing some increased visibility issues out there this morning with that fog. So make sure you're keeping your eyes on the road. We do have, by lunchtime, we'll be sitting at 9 degrees, 7 degrees in Saskatoon at that lunchtime hour. A little bit more sunshine expected through the central zones. By the final bell, 12 degrees, which is our expected daytime high in Regina, and 11 degrees in Saskatoon. Again, that is the expected daytime high. Some more sunshine at that hour. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $130.9. You can find regular fuel for as low as $119.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up $128.9, and the lowest you might find is $119.9. Taking a look at the farm markets now, the street price of canola at $562.72 per ton, and the futures price at $619.70 per ton. Amber Durham wheat at $282.27 this morning, and red spring wheat at $242.08 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.20 cents U.S. We'll be back in about 2 minutes with more of today's top headlines.
Your morning, Saskatchewan. It is 6:30, and it's been almost 5 months since wildfires devastated some Saskatchewan communities. And while some residents have received the help they need, others are still waiting. Carla Shinkaruk reports.
This is what's left of the place Alicia Lundgren called home in Denair Beach with her 3 kids. She now lives in a camper in her grandparents' lot. No running water. Her kids are not with her. As the colder weather moves in, she worries.
So I've been waiting for information from the Red Cross on that on the temporary housing that they have brought in.
She says she applied with the Red Cross in the village of Denair Beach, which carried out a needs assessment survey this fall to get necessary help to those who need it.
So we felt pretty confident that we've captured all the people that were in need and had not acquired housing.
Thompson says 245 homes were lost, and so far 25 of these units have been brought in. According to the province, rent for these ranges from $680 to $1,700 a month and are based on market rates.
Most people have acquired housing on their own, so either rental house or an apartment or such.
The province, which makes the decisions for eligibility, told us the government has committed $30 million in wildlife recovery and to support cleanup, debris management, and temporary housing. The recovery task team is working closely with Denair Beach leadership to identify and support all individuals and families that need housing ahead of winter. In addition, Red Cross case managers are working in the community to support and connect individuals to programs and services. But Lundgren, who works as a fire administrator for the Saskatoon Public Safety Agency, is eager to live in a place with her children as soon as possible, and she's not sure why she hasn't received help.
I never, ever thought that I would be in a situation like this. Like, I don't even have a fixed address.
We reached out to the Red Cross, who tell us they distribute the financial assistance to those who are eligible in conjunction with the Sask Public Safety Agency. Lundgren says she's getting some financial help from the Federal Disaster Assistance Program for basic living expenses. Carla Shinkaruk, CTV News, Saskatoon.
The provincial government is replacing the facade on one of its Regina office buildings to address structural and safety concerns. The 10-story high-rise is located on the corner of Albert Street and College Avenue. The government says a significant portion of the existing heavy stone cladding will be replaced with modern material. Some lower panels have already been removed to explore the extent of the work required. Construction is expected to start in the spring of 2026 at an undetermined cost. Don't know what that is yet. The building was constructed in 1965 by SaskTel and has served as head office, or did at least until 1981. Prince Albert City Council discussed a motion that would allow 4 housing units per lot in all low-density residential areas at Tuesday's executive meeting. The city intends to apply for $40 million in Canada Housing Infrastructure funding to upgrade its wastewater treatment plant. The city says this will prevent prevent passing the full cost of upgrades to utility ratepayers, that being you, the taxpayer. To access the funding, municipalities and populations over 30,000 must permit up to 4 housing units per residential lot. 2, 3, and 4 unit builds would only be approved if plans follow existing regulations and are supported by infrastructure.
We don't have a choice. We can't throw away millions and millions and millions of dollars and then try and collect from our public.
A public hearing is scheduled for November 17th. Saskatoon City Council is looking to create a one-stop shop for homeless people looking for help. Plans for a potential navigation hub were unveiled at City Committee yesterday that would fill a series of gaps for homeless people in the area, they say. This hub, would offer coordinated services from basic hygiene and stabilization needs to more intensive supports in a streamlined fashion. But as plans progress, councillors weren't so sure on developing a single hub or multiple mini hubs, and some pointed to a lack of services on the east side, which administration says is a regularly identified gap.
If we have it on the other side of the river, that tends to be kind of the boundary, so I do have concerns about that.
I would have rather seen a more fulsome debate on one big hub versus multis, because I think those were presented as future options in the report.
An update is expected in the spring. The Women's Provincial Curling Championships taking place this year in Melville have a new title sponsor. Curl Sask announcing yesterday that Bungie, who bought Viterra, will be the sponsor for the tournament. The two organizations have been partners for 12 years now and credit their collaboration on community events and why they've stayed together for more than a decade. This year they'll focus on growing the game for a younger audience and to demonstrate wheelchair curling on the ice as well.
So the youth, obviously, the grassroots of the sport is so important and such with such a rich history here in the province. You can't go anywhere in this province without finding a small town rink in small town Saskatchewan, and with support like Bungie has been able to give us, we were able to help spread that message and get as many kids trying curling for the first time.
The Prairie Pinnacle takes place January 5 to 11. The winning team will move on to the Scotties in Mississauga. A third-period implosion by the Moose Jaw Warriors led to the team's second loss in a row.
Down the right wing, still with it out of the left corner. Cross ice, right point, Markel's wrist shot, scores!
The Kamloops Blazers scored 5 goals in the final frame after the Warriors mounted a 4-goal second-period effort. A wild game at Temple Garden Center last night. The Blazers take this one 7-5, old-time hockey. Tommy Lafreniere had 2 goals and an assist for the Blazers. No Saskatchewan teams in action tonight. Kayleen Sawatsky over the Weather Center with you. My wife Sarah was out doing some shoreline assessments yesterday. She's the ecologist at Wascana Center. Snapped this photo and thought you might enjoy it.
You know what? I actually saw this on Sarah's Instagram and I thought, what would it be like to have that be my office?
One of the lucky 7 who have access to her photos. What's going on in the weather today?
All right, well, we're talking about some temperatures that are a little bit warmer than what we saw yesterday, so that's nice to see. It's right around the seasonal average. However, down in that southeast corner, you're waking up to more rain today. We saw that overnight. We saw it yesterday evening, and we're going to be seeing it later on into this afternoon and overnight hours as well. Let's take a look at these temperatures, though, because they have been fluctuating a little bit this morning. We were just at 7 degrees. Now we've actually gone down to about 6 degrees. Winds not super strong really anywhere in the province this morning, but we are seeing quite a bit of fog, and you can see that on our morning view camera here in Saskatoon. Not a whole lot to see with that fog we're waking up to this morning. Keep your eyes on the road. Let's keep everyone safe out there this morning. -1 to wake us up, and when the sun does fully come up and the fog will lift, we're going to be seeing some clear conditions to start the later part of the morning. Now the radar and satellite showing those areas where we got that rain yesterday evening into those overnight hours. Now most of it fell down in that southeast corner. However, there was a few places down in the southwest and through the central zones where we did see some of that precipitation yesterday. Today, though, we're really seeing it concentrating down in that southeast corner. Could come with some storm activity as well. We're also seeing a bit more of that cloud cover in the Regina area compared to Saskatoon into this afternoon. Now, only about a 40% chance right now that that rain could be reaching Regina, but just be prepared for it into those late evening hours, into those overnight hours as well. Not really going to be impacting us in the afternoon, though. Just really going to be staying in that southeast corner. On your screen right now is Friday at about 4:15 a.m. So those really early morning hours where we start to see it go up towards the Parkland region. So Yorkton going to be seeing some of that rain as well early tomorrow morning. And then as we look forward to the weekend, we do see just little bits here and there down in the southwest of some more precipitation. And Saturday looking really clear from most of that precipitation. So that's nice to see as well. Now let's take a look at those current temperatures. We're seeing -4 in Spiritwood, 6 degrees in Hudson Bay to start the day, 3 degrees in Nipawin, 7 degrees in Assiniboia, 4 degrees to start the day in East End. Later on this afternoon, with that precipitation we just talked about, we are seeing temperatures right around that average, so that's nice to see. 12 degrees for Swift Current, 11 degrees for Yorkton, and 12 degrees for Prince Albert. The 7-day forecast looking like temperatures are going to remain around that seasonal average until Monday, where we start to see things dip a little bit and then going back up for the rest of your work week. And similar conditions expected in Saskatoon for today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but then dropping down on Monday to about 7 degrees with that rain. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is vacation. Head to the contest page on our website or scan that QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we are checking in on a little NBA preseason with the Grizzlies taking on the Hornets. LaMelo Ball puts it through the defender's legs, then lobs it to Brandon Miller. Nice little alley-oop. Ball goes right through Jock Landale's wickets in transition, and Miller gets some height and a very nice finish. Ball, 23 points, 8 assists in 28 minutes, but more importantly, he has got your must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, Week 7 in the NFL kicks off with a little Thursday Night Football. We have the Steelers facing the Bengals. Coverage for that one gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
As the seasons change, so do home maintenance needs. Janella Pye is on location this morning with Regina Plumbing and Heating to learn more about how to get things ready for the cooler weather.
Well, fall is officially here, and that means cold weather is around as well. So today we're going to learn a little bit about heating up your homes. I've got Simon here with me from Regina Plumbing and Heating. Today we're talking a little bit about Napoleon furnaces. So let's get into it.
Absolutely. So we do have these furnaces here. These are the Napoleon, which are 100% Canadian, made in Canada. These are the 9700 series. So this is their top of the line units. They're 97% efficiency, so you'll get $650 back from Sask Energy. What's really awesome about these units is the fact they do have a patented window on the top. So you actually, because they're so quiet, they're whisper quiet, that you're able to look through and you can see all the flames going through. It's quite neat. When you open up this part here, you'll have a double door there. And then what we've done is we open this one up. You have automatic service lights that pop on. So when we come to do servicing, it's a lot easier for us.
Incredible. Wow. So not only efficient, but these are also Canadian made.
100% Canadian made. 100%, and that's by Canadian because we are Canadian.
Absolutely. And what is that importance of bringing Canadian made products in and making sure that you're selling those out to other Canadians?
That's right. Well, that way you're keeping it local, you're keeping the community going, you're keeping our country going, and we don't have to worry about tariffs. Canadian furnaces are fantastic. The Napoleon furnace is fantastic. And with the rebates, the quality being whisper quiet, you can't go wrong.
Fantastic. All right, one more time. That is Regina Plumbing and Heating. You and I are going to be back soon, Simon. We've got more to talk about with these Napoleon furnaces.
And
And welcome to another edition of X's and O's with Wes Cates. We didn't bring in the backups for this one, but you're going to see a lot of backups in Winnipeg. They can rest guys because of clinching first place last week. So, Wes, how do you approach these last few weeks? They're in Winnipeg, then they're at home against BC. Do you kind of like the idea of you rest a lot of your guys here, and BC, put your lineup in, maybe guys that are slightly injured don't, but basically play your team against BC?
That's a good point, Lee. I feel like though the way the Riders have been playing, I don't know if you're going to get anything out of playing your starters. Like, honestly, they haven't really had any type of rhythm to offense. They've had some great numbers, don't get me wrong. Trevor Harris has been throwing for 300. We found out about the sore shoulder and why his numbers were down a little bit. The offensive line's been doing great. AJ's top of the league, and the defense has had its ups and downs, but I can't say that the Riders have been playing really consistent. So right now, I just think it's about getting healthy. You know, I think for sure you sit everybody against Winnipeg. I guess depending on who BC plays, maybe you want to put your ones in there against their ones for a little bit just to kind of get a feel for the matchup, see where you might want to make some tweaks in game plan for the playoffs. But I would just say rest them, really, not even play them in the BC game, and just have you guys healthy and nice and fresh for that home Western final.
Is that too much, though, rest? Because, I mean, you've got those 2 games, then you've got a bye week. So you want guys like Trevor Harris, who seems to have kind of slowed down a little bit, to kind of get that rhythm going.
Yeah, I hate to say it, Lee, but it might be too long. Like, honestly, you don't, as a player, you kind of maybe lose a little something sitting for a while, but I think you can mimic it well enough in practice. You can get, maybe get a little bragging rights or maybe a little bet going in practice to get the ones against the ones, have a little more of that action, and just do things to get the guys revved up, running around at full speed and just trying to protect each other, right? I mean, it's all still football, so at the end of the day, you can provide good looks, and your scout team guys can go out there and give it 100 and give you good looks. And I think that you just try to make up for those missed games by stepping it up a bit in practice.
It's so weird to talk about a team that's 12-4. It's the best we've seen since the 1970s at this point, being having a record of 12-4. They've got first place all wrapped up, yet I can point to concerns with the kicking game, concerns with the secondary, concerns with the offense. Where are you with this team? It just seems so weird to have so many worries going into playoffs when you're first.
I'm a little concerned. Honestly, though, I mean, it's just been one of those situations where the Riders, they hadn't been able to start well. But now, last couple of games, you get a first drive touchdown. Okay, but then where's the kicking game at? Well, Lowther just went 5 for 5 his last time out. So maybe you want to leave things on a high note, leave things good right now, and just kind of hope that you can just pick up that momentum. I think that a lot of it's going to be mental at this stage in the game. Everybody knows kind of what everybody's doing, so maybe tweaking, maybe adding a few more plays and just being as mentally focused as you can, making sure that you're getting the mental reps in, going over your plays and stuff so there are no busts next time you step out on the field, I think is the most important part. It's going to be the teams that play the cleanest, not necessarily the team that's had the most live action, right? It's going to be the team that has the most mistake-free game and can control the ball and get through it that way that's going to end up on top at the end of the season with the hoisting the Grey Cup.
Well, we'll still wait and see who they're going to end up playing. I mean, BC is going to go against Edmonton. Calgary's going to go against Toronto. Obviously, Winnipeg against Saskatchewan. That's probably going to come down to the last week. But for the Riders, it's all about focusing on what they need to do to ensure they play in that Grey Cup game in Winnipeg. We'll analyze this last game and look forward to another week on another edition of X's and O's.
X's and O's, brought to you by Campion College at the University of Regina.
It's October 16th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday wish going out to Ellie, who celebrated her 9th birthday earlier this week. We hope it was a great one, with love from your Nana and your family. Also celebrating a birthday is Ron, turning 65. Happy birthday, Ron. Have an amazing day. Lots of love from your family. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Heaven. This message coming from your dad, who says he loves you always. Enjoy your day. Today is also Brooklyn's 13th birthday. Happy birthday to you from your grandma Grandma, Grandpa, DJ, and all of your family. Have a great day. Turning 34 years old is Jordan. Happy birthday to you. We got this message that says you are the best father, and Cass and the kids are all sending you a whole lot of love for this birthday. Also celebrating today is Lori. Happy 60th birthday. Enjoy your day and your next year ahead with love from your whole family. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. You can also scan that QR code on your screen, but please make sure you send those in at least one day in advance.
We're giving away code words here. I'm sure you are still as well.
Yes, absolutely. We are. Next one coming up at 8 o'clock this morning, and we go every 2 hours right till 6 p.m. You put those online. PureCountry927.ca could win a trip to Jamaica. And in between code words, we're seeing if we can maybe come up with a new license plate slogan. Alberta is going to be changing their license plates coming up late next year, and I thought, well, what if Saskatchewan would change ours? You can text over 54321. I threw it into ChatGPT. It gave a flat-out awesome, which I thought was pretty okay. The rest of them were pretty bad from there, but it had one solid okay maybe on there. Yeah. I'm sure you can do better. You can text in 54321.
I don't know if I can. The thing I came up with was not so flat.
Oh,
I think yours wins.
It's kind of contradicting for what ChatGPT did.
Sort of. Bye.
See you, Daryl.
Ready. The K-pop Demon Hunters are returning to the big screen. A sing-along version of the hit animated musical, which debuted on Netflix earlier this year, will play in theaters October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets go on sale this Friday. And speaking of performances, No Doubt is expanding its run of shows at the Sphere in Las Vegas. The band adding 6 additional performances in May due to what they call massive fan demand. This marks No Doubt's first extended tour in 14 years. It's also the 30th anniversary of their hit album, Tragic Kingdom. And he may still be waiting on the world to change, but at least he won't have to wait on that birthday cake anymore. John Mayer turns 48 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
All right, take a look at this kid who is learning to fall safely.
Okay.
Preston just realized that falling on the couch doesn't hurt, and now he just won't stop. He's a little stunt man.
Oh, Arya's just starting to do this. There's the frustration.
That table makes me nervous.
I know. Yeah. I was thinking the same.
Yeah, I don't know. I would maybe try to stop this, but that's just me.
It's a good thing we no longer call this segment Morning Smile. Now to a toddler who's a little more sinister.
Our toddler only wanted to bring one thing with her on our walk today. I'm not sure if I should be worried. Mumu, what's in your handbag?
A knife.
You're dressed like a vicar.
Oh.
Had to bring something with her.
Oh.
It's a knife.
I mean...
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Well,
oh, dear is right.
After a quick chase, the weapon was apprehended and the suspect subdued.
Oh, all right. I mean, she's sure cute.
These are all very concerning. Jeremy, hopefully yours is better.
All right. Well, let's check out if you miss sleepaway camps as an adult. If you do, here's one for you.
Remember what it felt like to be a kid? When every day was an adventure.
Women, this is Camp Social, it's called. It's a women's only 3-day summer camp. It's about living and laughing and loving life, and it costs $1,100 Canadian.
There you go.
What do you think, Kayleen?
I'm going.
Yeah?
I am somebody that I still have friends from my time at Bible camp when I was in grade 7. So
hold on, can we go, Jeremy? Can we go?
No, you're not invited. It's girls only.
Not to this one.
I'll go to the camp next door.
But summer camp is, those are some of the best weeks of my entire life as a teenager, so heck yeah, I'm all about this idea.
It's Thursday, October 16th.
Until we see a deal made between Canada and the U.S., the Kuzma deal, how do you figure any company can figure it out?
Ontario Premier Doug Ford meets with the Prime Minister today with the U.S. trade war top of mind. A prominent Saskatchewan lawyer has died after a battle with cancer. We'll look back.
Kirk sends a fly ball the other way. Robles retreating to the track, to the wall. It's another home run since 2010. Vlad Jr. says...
Jays fans excited after a Game 3 win in the ALCS. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. We hope you're having a great start to the day.
How loud was the house yesterday? Your husband's a big Blue Jays guy.
I don't know. I go to sleep.
That's interesting. I'm surprised you're not the person that makes him put on like the wireless headphones so that only he is hearing what's on the screen.
You know, he missed the first half of it because we were at the hospital meeting our friend's new baby. Congratulations.
Do we have a name?
We do have a name. His name is Zach, and he's beautiful.
Zach, happy birthday, I guess.
2 days ago, yeah.
Happy 2-day birthday. Good luck getting some sleep, parents. Let's get to news. Trade and tariffs are expected to be the hot topics when the Prime Minister meets with the Ontario Premier today. The get-together coming after automaker Stellantis announced that it's shifting production of the Jeep Compass from Brampton to Illinois. In response, the federal government is threatening legal action against the company. A letter from the industry minister, Melanie Joly, to the head of Stellantis identifies legally binding commitments the car company made in the past as part of the deal with Canada and Ontario. Ontario Premier Doug Ford says the move by Stellantis is a result of Trump's trade war and has this advice for the Prime Minister.
Get a deal. Let's start hitting him back. Let's start hitting the U.S. back hard, because all Trump does is continue. We're nice, play nice in the sandbox, and today's yesterday's 10% on softwood lumber. After it was 35%, he increased it 10%, and then he all of a sudden, one day out of the blue, someone must have told him cabinet makers, and we should ship a lot of cabinets down there, and all of a sudden now there's a tariff there. I am sick and tired of sitting and rolling over. We need to fight back.
While Ford and Carney will meet later today, the minister responsible for trade in the U.S., Dominic LeBlanc, is back in Washington working with Canadian negotiators to continue talks with American officials on trade. Canada's health ministers, meantime, are in Calgary for 2 days of meetings. Federal, provincial, and territorial health ministers will discuss interprovincial recognition of credentials and funding agreements. The Office of Federal Health Minister Marjorie Michel said she's also hoping to discuss mental health and addictions issues, as well as vaccination programs. While in Calgary, the ministers will also meet with national doctors and nurses organizations, which are calling for new ways to support and retain health workers. A Regina man will spend the rest of his life in prison for first-degree murder. 25-year-old Britton Volk was sentenced yesterday in the murder of 35-year-old Aaron Lunan. The victim's friends and family were in the courtroom, several reading victim impact statements.
When she had to break the news to them that their uncle was shot and killed. So it's very difficult to hear families suffering such as this, and this is why the criminal justice system treats murderer with a mandatory life imprisonment sentence.
The sentence includes a lifetime ban on firearms and no possibility of parole for 25 years. A major collision caused a major traffic disruption in Saskatoon. Jeremy Dodge, we don't usually deal with traffic given our work schedules, but this one tied up a few people.
Yeah, it certainly did. And a 37-year-old man has been charged after this crash. It actually closed the University Bridge yesterday. Here's the scene about 9:30 in the morning. Police say they were told about a black car driving erratically in the wrong lanes and not obeying traffic signals. A patrol officer tried to pull over the vehicle on 7th Avenue North, but it sped off. The vehicle then collided with a truck on the University Bridge. Driver of the car charged with dangerous driving, evading police, and impaired driving. Nobody was seriously injured. Now to the city's latest efforts to help the homeless. It's looking to build a navigation hub, a one-stop shop of sorts. But as Keenan Sorokhan tells us, the planned timeline and potential location made some Saskatoon city councillors a little uncomfortable.
initially estimated.
Plans for a community navigation hub are moving quickly at City Hall, and it's a little too quick for some councillors looking to explore all options before going down a specific path.
This is premature, and there's an earlier step that needs to be kind of fulfilled first before we can kind of tackle all of these.
As part of a federal funding application, plans to tackle homelessness include a navigation hub, which would offer coordinated services from basic hygiene and stabilization needs to more intensive supports. A report before a committee Wednesday was just for information, highlighting gaps and potential ways to fill them, and that was enough for Councillor Holly Kelleher, who tasked administration to look at partnerships and ways to build and operate the hub and bring back an update in the spring.
But I think that this central navigation piece is really significant in the sense that it provides a one-stop shop.
But it also reignited the east side-west side debate, with somewhere between downtown and St. Paul's Hospital identified as a potential location. The other area is on the east side of the river where there are no services, something noted by administration.
There's a lot of concern from residents and business about the concentration of services in one area.
If we have it on the other side of the river, that tends to be kind of the boundary, so I do have concerns about that.
The report originally looked at a series of mini hubs or one hub until Kelleher's motion.
I would have rather seen a more fulsome debate on one big hub versus multis, because I think those were presented as future options in the report. So for us to make a decision on that today is a little concerning to me.
Costs range from $8.7 to $32 million, depending on council's decision. Keenan Sorokan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
So we've only...
Daryl, a prominent Saskatchewan lawyer has died.
Yeah, you've probably heard the name Tony Merchant. Well, he died on Thanksgiving Monday at the age of 81. He was best known for representing residential school survivors in a $1.9 billion settlement against the federal government. The 2005 class action lawsuit is the largest in Canadian history. He also served in the legislature from 75 to 78 as a Liberal for Regina Wascana. Service for Tony will be held next week. One of Indonesia's most active volcanoes has erupted again. The eruption at Mount Luotobi, Laki-Laki, sent a column of ash and smoke 10 kilometers into the sky. Several people living in the villages nearby were told to leave. No injuries were reported. The last time this volcano erupted was in August. In July, another eruption caused flight disruptions in Bali. In the latest report by the UN Weather Agency, CO2 growth rates have now tripled since the 1960s. Heat-trapping carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere jumped by the highest amount on record last year, soaring to a level not seen. A National Transportation Safety Board blaming faulty engineering in the fatal 2023 implosion of the Titan submersible. The final report finds the vessel failed to meet necessary strength and durability requirements. It also found the wreckage of the Titan would have been found sooner if OceanGate followed standard guidance for emergency response. 5 people were on board. You'll remember then the submersible imploded in the North Atlantic on its way down to the wreckage of the Titanic. Toronto Blue Jays got the win they desperately needed last night, taking Game 3 of the American League Championship Series in a spectacular display of hitting. With a large contingent of fans making the trip across the border, the Jays downed the Seattle Mariners 13-4, and the Jays' bats were on fire, notching an astounding 5 home runs. Toronto now trails Seattle 2-1. Game 4 goes tonight, 6:33 p.m. Saskatchewan time. A lot of people are going to be glued to their screen, so they don't have to worry about what it's like outside. But if you're not a Jays fan, you're going to venture out maybe to get groceries. What are you wearing?
Well, temperatures have gone up compared to yesterday, right around that seasonal average now. However, if you're waking up with us from that southeast corner this morning, right around Estevan, the rain is likely already falling this morning, and it's going to be continuing on into the late afternoon, overnight hours as well. I'll show you more about those rainfall totals in just a moment here. Let's take a look at this morning view. It's foggy this morning. It's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Now, we're sitting at 6 degrees to wake us up in Regina with that fog. Some northwest winds coming in at 9 kilometers per hour. In Saskatoon, again, waking up to that fog this morning. Visibility reduced in many places. Also seeing that visibility reduced in Prince Albert this morning and in Meadow Lake. -2 to wake us up, though. The radar and satellite showing that rain that we saw yesterday. So mainly falling down in that southeast corner around Estevan, but we also did see some throughout the central and southwest zones earlier on in the evening yesterday. As we look forward to the rest of the day, we're really only seeing it right around that southeast corner. So Estevan, Carlisle, Weyburn going to be getting some of that rain falling. Could come with some of that storm activity. That's all those yellows and oranges that you're seeing on your screen there. And that really does go into tonight's evening hours as well. This is at about 9 p.m. and we have about a 40% chance of that reaching us here in Regina. So it's not for certain, but we do have that chance. So be prepared for it. We also do see it as we head into tomorrow morning in the early hours. We see it reaching up towards Yorkton and in and around the Parkland region there. And then as we continue on into those overnight hours, we see that system pushing off into Manitoba and more rain coming in to impact the areas down in the southwest, and that's moving in from Alberta. Now, Saturday looking pretty clear, so if you are making plans for the weekend, we're not seeing as much of the precipitation on that day, but we are going to be seeing the winds increasing. Now, by 4 p.m. today, we're expecting it to be about 10 millimeters of rain down in Estevan, but by the end of the day, that number is going to jump right on up to about 27 millimeters of rain by the end of the day. Today's forecast showing temperatures again right around the seasonal average, a little bit warmer than what we saw yesterday. Weyburn up to 10 degrees, Estevan up to 10 degrees with that rain, Moose Jaw up to 12, and Prince Albert up to 12 degrees as well. The 5-day forecast showing that we are going to be seeing temperatures warmer until Monday when we start to see those drop in Regina. And in Saskatoon, we're seeing that 11-degree high carry us through the weekend and then dropping down on our next work week on Monday down to about 7 degrees with more of that rain on the way. Now for a look at our rural forecast, where we're seeing temperatures right around that seasonal average today. Watrous with that sunshine up to 11 degrees, Outlook up to 13 degrees, and Wynyard seeing some fog into the later parts of the morning with that high of 9 degrees. Down in the southeast, we will be seeing that rain falling throughout the afternoon into the overnight hours. Carlisle included with that high of 9 degrees. Broadview up to 9 degrees as well, and Pilot Butte just with that cloud cover up to about 12 degrees this afternoon. Now let's take a look at Watson, where internet plans up to 1 gig are available from SaskTel. We're seeing that nice high of 11 degrees today. Mainly sunny, just a few clouds into the afternoon, and east winds are going to remain calm into the afternoon as well, only gusting up to about 20 kilometers per hour.
Let's go back out on the go to Mike Siona now. Mike, talking about seniors and active aging today.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Active aging is what it's all about, and the YMCA right now offering free memberships if you're over 80, which is absolutely tremendous. I love to hear that. I'm joined by Fred Dick, who's actually the man at the helm of the active aging program here at the YMCA. Talk to me about the fitness class itself, active aging.
New class for us. We've been running it for about 5-6 weeks, really trying to pool together our older adults into a comfortable setting where they get to socialize and connect. That's always really important to the YMCA, but also back it with some science, you know, making sure that we're doing age-appropriate training and trying to focus on that group.
Absolutely. Now, age-appropriate, we mentioned 80 plus is free, but this class, you don't have to wait till you're 80.
No, you know, really our target is anybody in that 50, 55 plus. I mean, anybody could be a participant. You know, we're working on all those same things, but you know, it's all kind of basic strength, resistance training that all of us need. And the truth is, our 55 plus group needs it probably more than the younger group.
No doubt about it. So, what kind of things, you know, can you tell us or show us? What should somebody in that group be focused on?
You know, number one, we're trying to train regular functional movement, right? Functional fitness, kind of a buzzword in the industry, I guess you would say, and true functional movement is what we do outside in our real life. So, you know, those basic movement patterns that are universal to pretty much everything we do. So squats, lunges, hinges, those kinds of things. Just making sure that we're doing that in a way that's safe. Really important for us to help people along that pathway. At the same time, helping them to understand they're actually probably capable of more than they think.
Yeah, no doubt about it, right? When you go to grab the dumbbell, don't always grab the small one. Figure out what you're doing. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. And it's not just for seniors. Obviously, that's the focus that we're talking about here today. But active living at all ages, because, like it or not, Jeremy, even you are aging right now.
Oh, yeah. Is it obvious? Is it that obvious? Mike, thank you. We will talk to you again in the very near future.
Home sales in Canada dropped in September for the first time in 6 months. The 1.7% decrease came despite a cut in the Bank of Canada rate. CREA senior economist Sean Cathcart says the expectation of a rate cut wasn't clear until the 11th hour, and that may have made people hesitate, and the impact may be felt in October numbers. Toronto and Winnipeg saw increases, but there were dips in Calgary, Edmonton, Vancouver, Montreal, and Ottawa. Well, Canada is threatening to sue Stellantis over its plans to move Jeep Compass production from a Toronto area plant to one in Illinois. Industry Minister Melanie Joly calls the plan unacceptable and is demanding that Stellantis come up with new mandates for the facility in Brampton. Joly says it has legally binding commitments involving government support, and Ottawa will do what it has to do to ensure Stellantis honors the agreement. European natural gas prices advanced over more Russian attacks on energy assets in Ukraine. The overnight drone and missile strikes forced some critical gas facilities to temporarily halt operations. The news comes as pipeline flows from Europe's top gas provider fell due to seasonal work, and wind generation dropped in parts of the region in Norway. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
In case you missed it, Ontario Provincial Police have a reminder for new drivers. They need to have a real person in the car. Don't know why this is a reminder somebody needed. A 19-year-old G1 driver, so that's their graduated licensing program. The first stage is to get a G1. Driver was pulled over with a skeleton in the passenger seat. People with a G1 license need to have a qualified driver in the car. So this kid was like, I'm going to go to the grocery store. I need a person. You'll do. You're all skin and bones, but you'll do. At least the skeleton was wearing a seatbelt, though.
I mean,
Safety
you gotta
first.
get creative sometimes.
Like the, kid with the Saskatchewan learner's permit, just, gotta have somebody.
Did they let him off with a warning, though?
Script does not say. That's a good question. That's a good question. We have another good question for you. It's our question of the day.
Yeah, so we're asking you today, what is the coolest thing you have ever found? Daryl, I don't think we asked you earlier. Do you have anything?
I don't think I found anything, though.
Okay, all right. Well, Heather's saying...
Not like Jeremy's very specific $20 bill in a very fine location.
Our next answer is actually about money, too. So hold tight for that. But Heather's saying, I actually found my neighbor's wedding ring. I was riding my bike home from school. I noticed something shiny on the road, and it was her ring. They gave me a reward of $50, which in the early 80s was quite a bit of money. That's still quite a bit of money.
That is quite a bit of money.
This answer from Rebecca on our email saying, I think the coolest thing I ever found was a bunch of money when I was 7 years old, going down the street, a bunch of $2 bills to the amount of about $40, and I spent it on candy.
Keely, what color was the $2 bill?
Oh, I'm born in 1997, Daryl.
It's brown. It's like a brown.
Nope.
Brownie
I
red.
didn't have that one.
Yep.
Well, if you ever found anything really cool, you can text us at 10400. Standard message rates may apply. You can also scan that QR code right now. Let us know the coolest thing you ever found, and we'll share those answers at 8:15.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the SportsCenter newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. And for it, we are checking in on a little NBA preseason with the Grizzlies taking on the Hornets. LaMelo Ball puts it through the defender's legs, then lobs it to Brandon Miller. Nice little alley-oop. Ball goes right through Jock Landale's wickets in transition, and Miller gets some height and a very nice finish. Ball, 23 points, 8 assists in 28 minutes, but more importantly, he has got your must-see moment. And coming up tonight on TSN, Week 7 in the NFL kicks off with a little Thursday Night Football with the Steelers facing the Bengals. Coverage for that one gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 Pacific. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
Your Morning Mystery. We have our whiteboards ready, our markers ready that still are not unscented, and it is a thing today. Clue number 1, this single panel cartoon was created by Gary Larson.
My favorite.
Oh, okay, so Jeremy's already got it. Close your ears will give us the other clues. He cites his family's morbid sense of humor growing up as an inspiration. It ran daily in newspapers from 80 to 95, often featuring animals. Okay, Jeremy's already got it written down, I'm sure. I'm going to guess because I only know 2 cartoons. I don't think it's Garfield.
I know. You know what? I'm gonna have to throw up a question mark today because I have a guess.
You're going to question mark it?
But I don't want to embarrass myself.
We got 1, we got 2.
So...
Jeremy, turn around.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, see, he had that from the beginning. The answer, of course, is The Far Side. In 1994, a 22-minute version of the first animated film debuted as a Halloween special on CBS television and quickly became a cult favorite for people like, of course, Jeremy. Love it. That's today's Morning Mystery.
Studio consideration provided by Father's Furniture, specializing in quality Canadian-made furniture.
Your school day forecast. It's brought to you by CAA School Safety Patrol, working together to keep our school zone safe. If you're heading out to catch the bus in Regina, we're sitting at 6 degrees still. We are waking up to that fog, though, -2 in Saskatoon. Also waking up to those foggy conditions this morning, so stay safe out there, everybody. By lunchtime in Regina, we'll be at 9 degrees, with that cloud cover still 7 degrees by lunch in Saskatoon. A little bit more sunshine there, and a lot more sunshine in the afternoon in Saskatoon as we reach that daytime high of 11 degrees. Just a touch warmer, though, in Regina by the final bell, sitting at 12 degrees. As we go to break, here's a look at those gas prices in Regina. The common cost to fill up is $130.9, but you can find regular fuel for as low as $119.9. In Saskatoon, the common cost to fill up is $128.9, and the lowest you might find is $119.9. Taking a look at the farm markets now, the street price of canola at $562.72 per ton, and the futures price at $619.70 per ton. Amber Durum wheat at $282.27 per ton, and red spring wheat at $242.08 per ton. And the Canadian dollar begins the day trading at 71.20 cents US. More of today's headlines right after this quick break.
Just before 7:30 on this Thursday, my name is Daryl. Here's what's making news. A handful of Indigenous communities across Canada have adopted self-administered policing. Now the Prince Albert Grand Council is hoping to be the next. Hallie Mandrick leads us off.
First Nations leaders, policing partners, and community staff have gathered in Saskatoon to discuss self-administered First Nations policing across the Prince Albert Grand Council's 12-member nations.
The whole intent of the RCMP things have changed in the last 10 years. And we need to evolve. We need to modernize with times. And when's the last time some of these policies and guidelines, procedures have been updated or modernized to meet the needs of today's challenges in our communities?
The Prince Albert Grand Council is hosting a 2-day policing conference to review community feedback and discuss the next steps towards a First Nations police service.
The community members have to agree this is what we want, this type of policing. Of course, the RCMP will always be there, but we want to include a self-administered policing, the First Nations.
Throughout 2023 and 24, the PAGC hosted a series of engagement sessions across 28 communities to get some feedback on the prospect of a First Nations police service, which saw more than 8,000 people attend. A survey conducted with 848 participants showed that 75% of respondents are in favor of the idea. The results also showcased that just over half of the respondents do not feel safe in their communities.
And I truly believe under the Grand Council, the model that I hope that we implement is under the Grand Council. And then by pooling resources, ideas, I think we can be a lot better to respond to today's challenges.
Only a portion of the community engagement results were showcased at the conference, but a full report of the findings will be provided by March.
It takes people, chief and councils, to be ready consulting with their community. This is the route we want to go in policing, and that to have that vote, and then to be able to have that funding, maybe from Canada and the support from Saskatchewan, to be able to hire that person to do that, to start that process, to start the work.
Hallie Mandrick, CTV News, Saskatoon.
What could be one of the largest geological rock findings in Saskatchewan, recently unearthed near Swift Current. Sierra D'Souza Butts with more on how much weight a 50-ton concretion holds to geologists.
For almost 10 years, Brian and Janie Gillis have been excavating soil a few kilometers out of Swift Current. However, one morning, workers dug out something that wasn't dirt.
He just said, you better come and look at the weird rock we dug out.
The rock in question turned out to be a 50-ton concretion forming about 80 million years ago.
I was really excited because to me it looked like an egg, but my family didn't seem too excited. And then my husband went out for coffee with a geology friend of his, and that's when the fire got lit.
After reaching out to different curators, the geology department at the University of Saskatchewan confirmed the finding to be of significance, being 2 or 3 times larger than others listed in the province's record books.
The brown stuff, it does represent weathering in a crack inside the concretion. It comes out of really unlithified sediment, and so therefore it really is a cemented, if you like, a cemented boulder inside unlithified or poorly lithified sediments, and that's really what a concretion is. It really represents a geochemical precipitate in a sphere or an oblong or even a bed sometimes.
Pratt adding, a concretion is different from a fossil as it does not possess any living properties but rather earthly elements.
Then we'll probably have what's called a thin section made, and that's where we glue a piece down onto glass, and then we grind that down so you can see through it. And then under a special microscope, we can tell what kind of minerals we got.
Now being sent to a lab for testing, Janie is looking forward to finding out more about its origin.
It's been here forever, so it isn't new, but it's new to us.
The Gillis family says they hope the concretion can be used for educational purposes. Where it will end up is unknown, as moving a 50-ton rock can be quite the challenge. Sierra D'Souza Butts, CTV News, near Swift Current.
A Saskatoon man is facing charges of child pornography following an investigation by the ICE unit. On October 8th, police searched a Saskatoon home where investigators looked at and seized electronic devices. 50-year-old Sean Warren Briscoe has been charged with 2 counts of possessing child pornography and 1 count of making it available. Briscoe appeared in court briefly yesterday on charges and was released on conditions. He is now scheduled back in court November 3rd. U.S. President Donald Trump has confirmed he authorized the CIA to conduct covert action inside Venezuela.
I think Venezuela's feeling heat.
Trump also says the U.S. hasn't ruled out strikes on land after targeting boats allegedly involved in drug trafficking. The move marks a sharp escalation in the Trump administration's strategy to remove Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro from power. Maduro took to the airwaves last night, lashing out at the CIA's record in various conflicts around the world. We are getting a closer look at how Canadians are feeling when it comes to buying American products. Many are still boycotting U.S. goods. New numbers from Quebec's retail council say about 85% of people in the province are not buying American, with 87% favoring local products. That's not the case when it comes to online shopping platforms like Temu or Shein, both based in China. The Canadian Real Estate Association has upgraded its forecast for home sales, now expecting a softer decline than it originally expected. The association says September home sales rose 5.2% year over year. That was the most activity for the month since 2021. The CREA now expects the number of residential properties to be sold in 2025 will drop 1.1% from 2024. It was projecting a 3% drop in its July forecast. Canada has now moved up a list ranking influence in global agriculture. We're now in the top 10. Congratulations to us. The Global Agri-Food Report, which produced in partnership with the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University, ranks G20 nations. Canada has jumped from 11th to 7th. The rankings are based on food security and nutrition, trade, geopolitics, and sustainability. The European Union is in the top spot, with the U.S. and U.K. trailing behind. A third period implosion by the Moose Jaw Warriors led to the team's second loss in a row.
Down the right wing, still with it out of the left corner. Cross ice, right point, Markel's wrist shot, scores!
Kamloops Blazers scored 5 goals in the third period. This after the Warriors scored 4 of their own in the second. Wild night. 7-5 was the final. The no Saskatchewan teams in action today. Caitlin Sawatsky, let's go over to the Weather Center and talk to you about what we're in store for today.
Well, let's first start by talking about what's in store for the morning, because we're not really seeing a whole lot on this morning view behind me here. A lot of fog to wake us up in many places across the province. I'll show you that on our map in just a moment. But let's start by talking about these current conditions. So we're still at 6 degrees in Regina. About an hour ago, we were at 7 degrees, and then we popped down. We're waiting for that warm up to continue on. Very foggy in Regina, some very calm winds for both Regina and Saskatoon, sitting at -2 to wake us up in Saskatoon, and it does look like the fog is starting to lift in some places in Saskatoon. Now, the visibility this morning shows that we're seeing some issues for Saskatoon, Regina, up through Prince Albert, and then up through Meadow Lake. So a foggy start to the day in those areas, not so bad in some others. What we're looking forward to this afternoon, though, going to be that rain still falling down in that southeast corner. So if you're waking up with us this morning from Estevan, Carlisle, Weyburn, going to be continuing on to see that rain into the later parts of the afternoon and into the evening and overnight hours as well. Throughout those overnight hours, we do have about a 40% chance still of Regina seeing some of that light rain, so it's not for sure, but it's not going to be impacting us in the afternoon, likely just into the later parts of the evening and overnight hours. As we look forward to tomorrow morning, well, this is at about 5 a.m. We do see it actually tracking north, impacting areas around Yorkton before that finally does push off. And then we see some more rain making its way in from Alberta, impacting areas down in the southwest, although that part of the system a lot smaller than what we were seeing today in areas in the southeast. As we look forward to Saturday, not seeing a whole lot on that future cast there. Just going to be talking about those winds this weekend. Now, if you're wondering how much rain is going to be falling, well, by about 4:30 p.m. down in Estevan, we're seeing about 9 millimeters of rain being projected right now, but that number does go up as we look forward into those overnight hours. So by 12:30 a.m., we're expecting Estevan to have had about 24 millimeters of rain having fallen again in total by that time. Current temperatures showing that Prince Albert is at -2, 7 degrees to wake us up in Hudson Bay, so a bit warmer there this morning. 1 degree in Swift Current and 4 degrees in East End to start the day. Later on this afternoon, seeing a lot of those highs right around that seasonal average. So Moose Jaw up to 12 degrees with that cloud cover, Weyburn with that rain up to 11, and Estevan up to 10 degrees with that rain falling. The 7-day forecast showing temperatures right around the seasonal average until Monday. That's when we start to see those temperatures fall. We also see some rain on the way for that day, and then we go right back up on Tuesday to 10 degrees in Regina. In Saskatoon, seeing 11 degrees carry us through tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, but Sunday we see some more rain on the way. Monday, the rain continuing on, dropping down to 7 degrees. A lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is vacation. Head to the contest page on our website or scan that QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
Here's what's happening in our community. A rummage sale October 15th to 17th starting at 9 a.m. over at St. Andrew's United Church in Esterhazy. Call 306-745-7259. Harvest of Art Show and Sale happens October 17th, 18th, and 19th at the Royal Hotel, 4025 Albert Street South. PrairieArtistGuild.org for more. The Sports World Collectibles Show happens Saturday, October 18th from 10 to 5 at Northgate Mall. That's at 480 89 Albert Street. Admission is free. And a craft fair happening Sunday, October 19th, 11 to 3 at the Fillmore Recreation Center out in Fillmore. If you want more information, call 306-722-3731. If you want your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, at least 2 weeks in advance.
Wardrobe consideration by Colin O'Brien Man's Shop, defining contemporary style for over 20 years.
This week in politics, we focus in on the city of Estevan and join Mayor Anthony Cernick. Tony, thank you so much for doing this. Population in your town is on a sharp incline. What's behind that?
There is just so many positive things happening around our city. Obviously SaskPower's commitment. We are the energy city, so SaskPower's commitment to refurbish the coal. We are the first chosen site of the Saskatchewan's first SMRs. We'll be receiving the largest solar facility Saskatchewan has ever had. There's just so many good things happening. Obviously, agriculture seems like they had a good year. There's a little bit of tariff scare around there, around the canola and all that, but everybody seems to be weathering the storm. So far, so good. But it's just, like I said, SaskPower's commitment to the energy for Saskatchewan has just put us back on the map, right? So.
If affordability is a problem and keynote for issue number one for many communities across this country, not just Saskatchewan, what's number two in Estevan?
Sorry, what was that?
If affordability is the number one issue in most towns, what is number two in Estevan?
It's actually going to be where we're going to house everybody that will be coming to town. Like I said, with rebuilding our coal fleet, our rental vacancy rate right now is pretty low. So, and we've been in a hiatus for at least 10 years here where there hasn't been much being built as far as apartments, houses, and all that sort of stuff. And we're all ready, just with a few announcements happening, we're all ready to see that real estate market taking off. And we are sitting in a good position. We have lots of land. So come on down and build.
When is that new MRI facility expected to come online?
The MRI facility, they've broken ground. They're just starting to, build the facility here. Hopefully, construction, let's just say a year. And hopefully in, 2026, the end of 2026, 2027, we want to see that MRI facility up and going.
Healthcare is an important issue. Childcare is also one if you want to move to a fine city like Estevan. You have a new facility underway?
Yeah, we have a new 90 child, I do believe, is the space is available. So, it's under construction right now. And we actually just, as a council, approved a few more apartment buildings. So, like I said, everything's on the up and up, and we're ready to build. And again, we're sitting in a good position where we have land, and we're ready to go.
How much work have you put into the city's downtown?
Oh, the downtown, yes. It was a project that kind of started, economic activity, to take us back a little bit. Obviously, in the 2019, 2020, things weren't looking good for us. Coal was shutting down, oil and gas is down. And, there was a little bit of revitalization money that came in from the federal government. Hub of economic activity is what the downtown was slated for. So it was a 2-year project, which we actually just got wrapped up. The street has been open for about a week now. So the major points of the project are complete. There's just going to be, benches, garbage cans, and all sorts of accessories on the top, anything ongoing. But, it is nice to have the downtown core redone. Obviously, the above ground looks nice, but more importantly, the below ground is complete and should be good for the next 50 years, right?
Tony, thank you so much for doing this, sharing some insights from your fine community. We'll do this again soon.
Excellent. Thank you.
Here's what's happening in our community. One-of-a-kind jewelry, October 21st at 9:30. Got to make reservations, but it's happening at the Serb Club at 2775 Avonhurst Drive. Call 306-539-4669. A turkey fall supper happening Sunday, October 19th at 4 p.m. over at St. George's Orthodox Cathedral, 2005 Edgar Street. For more information, call 306-352-0112. St. Joseph's Catholic Church Fall Supper happens Sunday, October 19th at 4:30 p.m. over at 201 4th Avenue East in Kenora. If you want your event shown here, email us, reginacommunity@bellmedia.ca, but do so at least 2 weeks in advance.
October 16th, and we have these milestones to share with you. We'll start off with a belated happy birthday wish going out to Ellie, who celebrated her 9th birthday earlier this week. We hope it was a great one, with love from your Nana and your family. Also celebrating a birthday is Ron, turning 65. Happy birthday, Ron. Have an amazing day. Lots of love from your family. Happy birthday wishes also going out to Heaven. This message coming from your dad, who says he loves you always. Enjoy your day. Today is also Brooklyn's 13th birthday. Happy birthday to you from your grandma, grandpa, DJ, and all of your family. Have a great day. Turning 34 years old is Jordan. Happy birthday to you. We got this message that says you are the best father, and Cass and the kids are all sending you a whole lot of love for this birthday. Also celebrating today is Lori. Happy 60th birthday. Enjoy your day and your next year ahead, with love from your whole family. If you have a milestone coming up, send us an email to yourmorningsaskatchewan@ctv.ca. You can also scan that QR code on your screen, but please make sure you send those in at least one day in advance.
All right, let's check back in with Janella Pye on location with Regina Plumbing and Heating once again to learn more about winter home maintenance.
Okay, we're coming back to you here with Regina Plumbing and Heating. Simon is with me. Now, Simon, we went over some of these Napoleon furnaces. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some fall maintenance.
Absolutely. Number one, super important, service your furnace every single year. Change your filter every single month. That way, the furnace will stay wonderful and keep you nice and warm all throughout the winter. Okay? So when we come to do servicing for the furnace, we're going to open these things up, and with these Napoleon furnaces, which are fantastic, they'll have built-in service lights. So that way we'll be able to see what's going on. We'll check your heat exchanger, we'll check your fan blower motor, your pilot light, everything, and make sure you're all tip-top, all good for the winter. And the best thing to do is call us at Regina Plumbing and Heating, 306-585-2000.
Amazing. All right, well, make sure you're calling that number if you need some furnace servicing coming up here. Now, these are, once again, Canadian-made
Yes, they
products.
are Canadian-made, yes, out of Barrie, Ontario.
Out of Barrie, Ontario. So what is that significance to you guys as a company?
Well, I think it's really important to buy Canadian. Stay local. Stick with your country. Don't worry about tariffs that come out. And a lot of the other ones come from the United States, so why pay a tariff? Support your country. It's really important to buy Canadian, buy Napoleon. And these Napoleon furnaces have amazing warranties, lifetime warranty on that heat exchanger, 10 years on parts, and 10-year labor warranty.
Amazing. All right. Well, once again, that's Simon with Regina Plumbing and Heating with the Napoleon furnaces. We've got a little bit more coming up for you in the next hour.
Oh, we're getting close to that code word. What, another few minutes?
Another few minutes. I like that you subbed out on a number. You're like, we don't do math here. 6 minutes away until 8 o'clock. That is when we'll have the next code word for you. They could win you that trip to Jamaica. Remember, they are every 2 hours starting at 6 a.m. and they go right until 6 p.m. On top of that, too, if anyone has a trick how to get rid of maple bugs inside, I would love to hear that this morning. You can text 54321. We have a bunch of them in the studio right now. And my worry is just over my shoulder, there's a touch screen. And if one of them lands on that and decides to crawl across, chaos ensues. The engineer is getting a phone call, music is blasting off everywhere, commercials are firing when they're not supposed to. So if you have any help there, we would muchly appreciate it. You can text 54321.
Is it bad that this is the first time I've learned that that's a touch screen, and I've done a lot of radio over there with you guys? Oh my goodness, I could have messed
terrifying.
I could have messed some real stuff up. Also, I couldn't figure out how to make my phone work. That's Matt Coronado, Calgary Flames. I couldn't figure out how to hit the buttons and get the time. 5 minutes to your code word.
Calculator.
Bye, Chase.
Bye, Daryl.
Nothing's ever easy, but we learned so much, and that's why we wanted to give you a glimpse into the spirit of the making of the film.
Want a deep dive into the making of a blockbuster? James Cameron leads the way in Fire and Water, making the Avatar films. The new two-part documentary gives a behind-the-scenes look at Avatar: The Way of Water and a sneak peek at the upcoming Avatar: Fire and Ash. Fire and Water debuts on Disney Plus November 7th. Sammy Hagar's new live album was recorded this year during his residency at Las Vegas's Park MGM. The veteran rocker performed more Van Halen songs there than he has in decades.
Mike and I just looked at each other, high-fived, and said, let's go out and do it. And, oh, it's such a pleasure singing 5150, Summer Nights.
In Hollywood, I'm Douglas Hyde.
Killian, do you like summer camp?
Oh, I loved summer camp, and boy, do I have stories.
Oh, I'm sure you do. We don't have time for that. We have time for this.
Remember what it felt like to be a kid? When every day was an adventure.
$1,100, you can go to this women's only 3-day summer camp. The script doesn't say where it is. It does say Canadian dollars, though, so it must be somewhere here.
Well, I'm assuming probably somewhere in Ontario. They get the fun things like this, but also whenever this is, can I have that week off?
Oh, I want to go to the men's camp that's right next door.
I don't know. This seems like it's like a woman's paradise. We don't need any men nearby in the near vicinity.
Oh, okay. Okay. How about a tot that's just learning how to fall somewhat safely? This is actually just Jeremy on any given day after work. He just goes and flops down on his couch.
Yeah. Constantly collapsing.
He does. I don't think he comes anywhere near that table, though.
I mean, hopefully not.
A little nervous.
That's a head dent waiting to happen. Fill up your coffee. We're back in 2 minutes with more Your Morning Saskatchewan. Thursday, October 16th.
We will make sure that we push the company and we hold them to account.
Ottawa says they'll exercise all options, including legal ones, if Stellantis does not honor their commitments. Prince Albert City Council discussing a motion that would allow 4 housing units per lot in a low-density residential area.
We expect you that when you get out there to play winning football. And we believe what our winning football, our brand is, and we think that everyone that we're putting out there can do that, and we're expected to go out there and play and play hard and then come back 1-0.
Wasn't that cold outside, was it, Mark Mueller? The Rough Riders likely to sit some starters this week in Winnipeg. Stay with us, Saskatchewan. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to Your Morning Saskatchewan. I'm Daryl.
And I'm Kayleen. Good morning. Hopefully your morning is going well.
Was it cold enough to be wearing a toque yesterday? He's from here. I feel like he'd be more hardy. But
I mean, it was cooler yesterday, warmer today, though. But you just spoke with the Estevan mayor on the show. Did you ask him about all that rain that's fallen today?
I did not, but you've got those details coming up?
Oh, yeah, coming up.
All right, let's do your headlines first before we get to her and your code word for your $20,000 contest as well. Talks for a Canada-U.S. trade deal are back on this week in Washington.
The pressure is really growing now for Canada and the U.S. to reach a deal.
CTV News has confirmed that Canada-U.S. Trade Minister Dominic LeBlanc is back in Washington for negotiations. He had talks last week. They were successful and positive is how he described them, but he did leave without a deal. Ottawa is said to be looking for short-term deals to find relief for sectors like steel and aluminum and energy. The union representing 3,000 workers at Brampton's Stellantis plant not holding back what they think of the company's actions.
Disrespectful and disgusting behavior by the company.
Those workers, along with union management, found out about the news at the same time on Tuesday by robocall. Experts say there could be a knock-on effect throughout Canada's auto industry as well if the plant closes, because hundreds of millions of dollars of investment in parts manufacturers meant to supply that plant are in limbo. A Regina man will spend life in prison for first-degree murder. 25-year-old Britton Volk was sentenced yesterday in the death of 35-year-old Aaron Lunan. The victim's friends and family were in the courtroom, several reading victim impact statements. Regina police looking for anyone with video that could help a homicide investigation. The call is is connected to the investigation into a man's death that began on Thanksgiving Monday when police found a body on the 100 block of College Avenue. Major crimes and forensic were called in, you remember. The investigation now. Police asking anyone with video in the Al Ritchie neighborhood to come forward. Between 4 and 5 a.m. is the specific time they're looking for. Now, other tips can be reported to police or Crime Stoppers. Let's get to a major collision in Saskatoon that caused all kinds of tie-ups yesterday. Jeremy Dodge, more on that if you could.
Thank you, Daryl. Yeah, a 37-year-old man has been charged following the crash. It closed down the University Bridge yesterday. Here's the scene about 9:30 in the morning. Police say they were told about a black car driving erratically in the wrong lanes and not obeying traffic signals. So a patrol officer tried to pull over the vehicle. This is on 7th Avenue North, but it sped off. The vehicle then collided with a truck on the University Bridge. Driver of the car charged with dangerous driving, evading police, and impaired driving. Nobody was seriously injured. A jury in a Saskatoon manslaughter case scheduled to be charged this morning. The judge expected to deliver his instructions to the jury on how to apply the law to reach a verdict. Roderick Sutherland has pleaded not guilty to manslaughter, unlawful confinement, and offering an indignity to human remains in connection to the death of 30-year-old Megan Gallagher. Court heard Gallagher was killed about 5 years ago inside a Saskatoon garage while she was restrained to a chair. Key evidence in the case is a recorded video statement Sutherland gave to police and testimony from Bobby Thomas, one of the people who was in the garage. Well, Daryl, a prominent Saskatchewan lawyer has died.
Over the Thanksgiving weekend, Tony Merchant died at the age of 81, best known for representing residential school survivors in the $1.9 billion settlement against the federal government. The 2005 class action lawsuit is the largest in Canadian history. He was also an MLA from 75 to 78. A service will be held next week. Construction on Saskatchewan's new copper mine, about 60% complete. Foran's McIlvany Bay mine is expected to begin production next year. Once complete, nearly 5,000 tons of copper, zinc, gold, and silver can be pulled from the ground each day. It has received national interest, with Prime Minister Mark Carney listing it as one of 5 nation-building projects he wants approved. Foran says the mine will play a key role as demand for critical minerals continue to grow.
The demand for critical minerals is only increasing as we go through the energy transition of the next few decades, of course, in particular for copper, but also zinc as well.
Minister of Energy and Natural Resources says the mine takes the province one step closer to reaching its critical mineral strategy. The city of Prince Albert is taking a step towards zoning changes, which would allow more development on existing residential lots. Jasmine Peltier reports.
Prince Albert is one step closer to allowing 4 housing units per lot in all low-density residential areas. At Tuesday's Executive Committee meeting, Prince Albert City Council voted 8-1 in support of a motion to permit up to 4 units per residential lot. The city intends to apply for $40 million in Canada Housing Infrastructure funding to upgrade the wastewater treatment plant. The Canada Housing Infrastructure Funding Program requires municipalities with populations over 30,000 to permit up to 4 housing units per residential lot.
Once the minimum standards are met with the federal government, our zoning bylaw is not a static document. It can be flexible, it can change, so we'll continue to monitor the impact of the program and the impact of the regulations we put in place.
The city says the money would help avoid passing the full cost of the upgrades to utility ratepayers.
We don't have a choice. We can't throw away millions and millions and millions of dollars and then try and collect from our public.
2, 3, and 4 unit builds would only be approved if the plans follow existing regulations and are supported by infrastructure.
I'm not a big fan of how this grant came forward, but we definitely need this monies in our community.
Earlier this year, a housing needs assessment showed Prince Albert was 1,400 units short of what's needed for housing in the city. The zoning amendment does not include country residential properties north of the river. There is a public hearing on the motion scheduled for November 17th. Jasmine Peltier, CTV News, Prince Albert.
A surprising twist for a Saskatchewan distillery hoping to capitalize on American liquor being pulled off the shelves. Here's Allison Bamford.
On liquor store shelves, a colorful Saskatchewan product meant to replace the American liqueur Sourpuss.
It was probably a good 3 months of development to get them right.
When provinces banned U.S. alcohol in March, Saskatoon's Stumbletown Distilling saw an opportunity.
We thought we would be taking over all of that market, and there'd be a lot less competition.
But the rollout of the distillery's sour rocket didn't go to plan when Saskatchewan lifted its ban on U.S. booze in June, slowing sales for what they had hoped would be a major moneymaker.
It would have went a long way to kind of keep that supply chain closed a little longer for small producers like us.
There's still a strong Buy Canadian movement across the province and country. Canadian alcohol sales at this Saskatoon liquor store are up 35%, while American sales have been slashed in half.
Right now, nobody's buying the American products.
A report released this month shows American spirits exports to Canada plunged 85% in the second quarter of this year. While Canada recently removed retaliatory tariffs on American spirits, U.S. liquor bans still exist in most provinces.
We will see for a sustained time a drop in U.S. liquor consumption in Canada and even beer consumption.
Despite the drop in American sales, experts say Canadian products aren't seeing a proportional boost, which some say could be related to inflationary pressures or substitute brands not meeting the market demand for U.S. products. Allison Bamford, CTV News, Saskatoon.
After clinching first place in the West, the Rough Riders expected to sit several starters on Friday against the Bombers.
You got to let it all hang out there like you are a starter, or like you are a guy that plays every week. So regardless of what the situation is that we're in, we are going to play as well as we can. I think guys need to be able to prove that when they step on the field, there is no drop-off, and you got to be able to execute just like the guys in front of you have.
All right, so you can expect to see some backups. Trevor Harris, A.J. Ouellette, Micah Johnson. Others saw limited or no practice time this week. You should expect to see Jake Mayer start at quarterback, the former Stamps starter. Despite lineup changes, expectations for the coaches stay the same.
We expect you that when you get out there to play winning football. And we believe what our winning football, our brand is, and we think that everyone that we're putting out there can do that, and we're expected to go out there and play and play hard and then come back 1-0.
Head coach Corey May saying Tuesday he is hopeful 1,000-yard receiver Keyshawn Johnson will be back on the field. He left Friday's game with a knee injury, did not return. Friday night is the game in Winnipeg. Let's get over to the Weather Center. Join Kayleen Sawatsky. We're giving away some tickets a little bit later on in the show. Stay tuned for some rodeo.
Yeah, looking forward to that. So you have to stay with us, though, until about 8:35-ish, and then we'll tell you how you can win that contest. Let's take a look at this morning view, though. It's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. Now, in Regina, we've really been stuck this morning at that 6-degree mark. Also seeing that fog to start our morning. Things are improving in Saskatoon, though. A little bit of fog still sticking around in some parts of the city, but definitely an improvement from the last time we looked outside. -3 right now, so temperatures have actually gone down since the last time we took a look out there. Now you can see that improvement on our visibility board. It was just about 30 minutes ago that Saskatoon was sharing that number with Regina of 0.6 kilometers of visibility. Now Saskatoon is up to 3.2, so that's nice to see. Still seeing some fog to wake us up in Prince Albert, though, North Battleford and Meadow Lake as well. Keep your eyes on the road this morning, folks. Futurecast now showing that we have some rain on the way. It's already started. In fact, it started yesterday down in that southeast corner. It continued on through the overnight hours. Still seeing that drizzle this morning, but most of that rain is going to be falling actually as we head into those late evening hours and overnight. Still seeing it early tomorrow morning, but then it actually tracks north up through Yorkton and areas around that Parkland region. Then that part of the system will be pushing out of the province into Manitoba, and some more on the way for the southwest corner, moving in from Alberta late in the afternoon on Friday. Saturday looking really clear on our Futurecast. Now let's take a look at that total rainfall that's expected by about 5 p.m. today. We're expecting about 8 millimeters to be falling down in Estevan. By the end of the day, the total number of rain to have fallen will be about 22 millimeters of rain. Now current temperatures showing that we're at -4 in Spiritwood, Melfort at 3 degrees, Hudson Bay a warmer start to the day sitting at 7 degrees right now, 7 degrees in Weyburn, 7 degrees in Yorkton, cooler through East End sitting at 4 degrees, and even cooler in Swift Current current at 1 degree. Later on this afternoon, we'll be seeing some nice temperatures right around that seasonal average. With that rain, though, again, down in that southeast corner, we'll be seeing a high of 9 degrees in Estevan, 11 degrees in Weyburn, and Moose Jaw up to 12 degrees when that fog finally decides to lift. The 7-day forecast in Regina showing that the weekend is going to be nice in terms of those temperatures before dropping down on Monday to about 6 degrees, 10 degrees on Tuesday, and 9 degrees on Wednesday. In Saskatoon, seeing that high of 11 degrees carry us all the way throughout the weekend, and then drop for your day on Monday when more rain is on the way.
October 16th, 1970, the federal government invoked the War Measures Act, deploying 8,000 soldiers on the streets of Montreal. October 16th, 2010, Clara Hughes, Nellie Furtado, David Clayton, Thomas, Eric McCormack, Sarah Farley Mowat, and Doug Henning inducted into Canada's Walk of Fame. October 16th, 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis began after U.S. President Kennedy was shown photos confirming the presence of Soviet missiles in Cuba.
In case you missed it, the Toronto Zoo is in a league of their own. Call these guys the Toronto Zoo Jays, sharing pictures and videos all week to cheer on the Blue Jays. Animals ready with their gear, and of course, you can't go to the ballgame without snacks, right?
Always shocked at how big an anteater is.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty creepy.
I'll tell you this much, though. Somebody on their marketing team at that zoo is having a whole lot of fun with their job this week.
Absolutely. The hair in the eye is probably going to be a challenge for hitting that long ball.
Yeah.
I would think. Question of the day. We're talking about the coolest thing you've ever found. We finally got some answers from you on your smartphones and your emails. What do we got on the big board there, Keeling?
Well, we're actually starting with answers from two of our very own. Janelle, our on-location reporter, and Ashley, she's our videographer here on the morning show. Ashley says the coolest thing she's ever found was a farthing on her family's farmland, and the coolest thing Janelle has ever found is Ashley and I.
Oh, no.
How
Come on.
sweet
Get
is
back
that?
to work, ladies.
Oy, oy, oy.
We had this answer saying, on a farm by Kayville, we found numerous arrowheads and carved out rocks.
Cool.
They
Neat.
thought that their brother had them. He thought that their sibling had them. We'll never really know what happens happened to them, I guess. Mallory saying a 4-leaf clover. Hopefully that brought you some good luck. Kathy saying the coolest thing she ever found was a $50 bill while walking along an empty lot along Albert Street in Regina. Was carrying a book, used it as a bookmark for a few weeks. Hopefully you went out after that and bought yourself something special.
Some more books?
Yeah, Lori saying she also found a $20 bill walking her dog, and that's a lift to the day, right?
Jeremy also found a $20 bill back in 1976.
Yeah, I was
Mid-80s
like 6 years
so.
old. I was so rich.
Julie is saying a triangle black rock when I was out golfing in Cupar. I haven't lost a round since.
Oh.
So a good luck charm for
Lucky
Julius.
things come out of Cupar, hey?
Yeah.
Weird how that happened.
Dave wrote in and said a buffalo hide scrapper 4 feet down when me and my brother were digging a grave on Cody. And then this one from Carol in Melville saying, a year ago on a walk I found this really cool rock.
You ever found anything good in Cupar?
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe my husband.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Depends.
Maybe.
Thanks for participating. We're back in a minute.
When astronauts spend a long time in space, some experience blurry vision and changes in the back of the eye. A new study in the journal JAMA Ophthalmology looked at 30 long-term astronauts and found that those who were nearsighted before launch, a condition called myopia, were more likely to see their vision shift in the opposite direction while in space. That's because nearsighted eyes tend to be softer and more flexible, making them more likely to change shape in zero gravity. However, that flexibility didn't seem to affect other eye changes, like swelling in the retina. While space scientists want to see more studies, these results suggest astronauts might someday be screened based on their eye shape and flexibility. There could be lessons here for earthbound eyeballs, too. Learning how the eyes respond to pressure changes in space could one day lead to better vision treatments for those who never leave the planet. With this Medical Minute, I'm Melissa Adon.
Health Report, brought to you in part by Saskatchewan Blue Cross, protecting your health since 1946.
All right, let's check back in with Mike Siona one last time at Saskatoon's YWCA this morning.
Well, we're not jumping in, but I am here poolside with Fred Dick at the YMCA. We've been talking about active aging and the free memberships being offered for those 80 plus in our community. Let's talk about Aqua Fitness and the classes that you guys offer.
Yeah, well, Aqua Fitness has always been a great way for people to use the buoyancy of water to still exercise. You can do really hard workouts in the water. Of course, we always make sure the workout's appropriate for the person. We meet them where they're at, but it's Aqua Fitness, a big part of what we do here at the YMCA.
And how does that work in terms of rehab and specifically joint pressure and alleviating?
The biggest thing is it just allows you to move in a way that might be harder in air, right? And I think that's the biggest single thing. You still get to do a lot of the same movements, and you are doing resistance training. You can do great cardio in the water, but it's just that buoyancy helps you to be a little safer.
There you go. Yeah, well, hey, I've done it a couple of times. Mind you, never here. It was like poolside at a Mexican resort. We won't talk about that because that's not what's important. But water skills in general are so important. And you guys have been, for over a century, training Saskatoon how to swim?
120-year history of teaching Saskatoon youth how to swim. It's probably, when you think about legacies, that's probably one of our single biggest legacies we have in the city. We run 4 sessions a year. We're right in the middle of our fall session right now. It's going great. It's full. December 7th, I think our next registration date opens up for our winter session, and teaching swimming lessons, probably the single biggest thing that we can do as an organization to help our youth stay healthy and safe.
Fantastic. All right. Well, from the youngest, the youth, to the oldest of our elders, something for everybody down here at the YMCA. It's been a wonderful morning. Thanks very much.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Today is International Credit Union Day, and we're learning more about it this morning as we welcome in Teresa Kuzina, the Chief Marketing Officer of Connexus Credit Union. Good morning and welcome to the studio.
Thank you.
So let's start off by just informing our viewers, what is today all about?
Absolutely. So International Credit Union Day is held on the 3rd Thursday of October by credit unions all around the world. And it's really a day just to acknowledge and celebrate the impact that credit unions have on the lives of our members and communities, and it's a way we can celebrate with our members. We know people have choice in where they bank, and we're really appreciative when our members choose us.
Teresa, what is it that sets credit unions apart from other financial institutions?
Yeah, it's a great question. So one of the things that we do is we offer banking services just like any other financial institution, but how we do it and why we do it is really what makes credit unions different. I mentioned members, and so that's a core difference with credit unions. Members are owners of a credit union, and when you think about how you build a business, when you're building it for an owner and you know that someone's going to be across the table from you and you're here for them, that really makes a big difference. So our members have a say in how we operate, but really every decision we make is in their best interest and for what will make them successful. So that's key. That's number one. It's foundational and core to our business. Number two is how we use our profits. And like any successful business, we're profitable, and that's great. And so we can invest back in our banking operations and again for member benefit. But we also share our profits because our members are our owners, and members are our clients elsewhere, but our members are our owners, and so we share our profits back with them. At Connexus, how we do this is our no-fee banking account, and so that's a great benefit for members. Others do it differently, and we also share our profits back with our communities. And so at Connexus, we invest 5% back of our pre-tax profits back into Saskatchewan, and that's hugely important to us. We're based in Saskatchewan. We're for Saskatchewan. Really, everything that we do is for the benefit of our members here, and so investing our profits back into local communities is huge. And so it's a really big difference, I would say, with credit unions. And then the third thing, and I love this especially now, is we're a local option. And so people don't often think about your choice of where you bank as being a local decision, but you can have such impact when you choose to bank with a credit union because of the local impact that we have. So lots of great differences, but I'd highlight those three in terms of kind of the how and the why we do business differently.
All right, Teresa, we have about 30 seconds left, and I really want to touch on what's happening at your locations today.
Absolutely. So to celebrate with our members, we're inviting them into our branches to come have some refreshments, have a good conversation, and they can enter to win a $100 co-op gift card, and that's at every single one of our 30 branches throughout the province. They can also enter through our social media channels, and it's just our way of saying thank you. And if you're not a member already, you're welcome to come in. We're happy to host you and have that conversation.
Teresa, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It was lovely to have you in studio with us. As she just mentioned, there's a lot happening at Connexus Credit Union locations this morning, so you can head on over to their website to learn more as well. That's connexus.ca.
Welcome to Your Morning, just about 8:30. My name is Daryl. Here's what's making news. Industry Minister Melanie Joly says financial relief is on the way for Canada's softwood lumber industry.
We're seeing also that the interpretation sometimes of executive orders coming out of the White House are not the same depending on the border agents in the U.S. So this is something definitely that Minister LeBlanc is working on.
People working in Canada's softwood lumber industry say there's been some confusion at the border. Melanie Joly says the government will provide funding through banks, helped along by the Business Development Bank of Canada in the coming days. She also says in the long term, the feds are working on a Buy Canadian policy to make sure Canadian homes, major projects, and infrastructure are built only with Canadian wood. Lumber has been one of the industries targeted by the White House, along with steel, aluminum, energy, and the auto sector. Almost 5 months after wildfire devastated Saskatchewan communities, some residents still waiting for the help they need. This rental home for Alicia Lundgren is sharing with, that's obviously not it, shared with her 3 kids in Denair Beach, destroyed by wildfire June 2nd. Now she's living in a camper with her kids in other locations. Denair Beach Council says it needs an assessment survey this fall to find out who is in need. More than 20 provincial housing units have been delivered so far.
I never ever thought that I would be in a situation like this. You know, I really feel for others that have gone through these situations, because I know how it feels now to not have these things and to have to wonder, and I don't even have a fixed address.
The Red Cross says it's working with the province to determine who needs assistance. City of Saskatoon's latest efforts to help the homeless are looking into building a navigation hub, a one-stop shop of sorts. But as Keenan Sorokhan tells us, the planned timeline and potential location has some councillors a little uncomfortable.
Plans for a community navigation hub are moving quickly at City Hall, and it's a little too quick for some councillors looking to explore all options before going down a specific path.
This is premature, and there's an earlier step that needs to be kind of fulfilled first before we can kind of tackle all of these.
As part of a federal funding application, plans to tackle homelessness include a navigation hub, which would offer coordinated services from basic hygiene and stabilization needs to more intensive support. A report before a committee Wednesday was just for information, highlighting gaps and potential ways to fill them, and that was enough for Councillor Holly Kelleher, who tasked administration to look at partnerships and ways to build and operate the hub and bring back an update in the spring.
But I think that this central navigation piece is really significant in the sense that it provides a one-stop shop.
But it also reignited the east side west side debate, with somewhere between downtown and St. Paul's Hospital identified as a potential location. The other area is on the east side of the river, where there are no services, something noted by administration.
There's a lot of concern from residents and business about the concentration of services in one area.
If we have it on the other side of the river, that tends to be kind of the boundary, so I do have concerns about that.
The report originally looked at a series of mini hubs, or one hub, until Kelleher's motion.
I would have rather seen a more fulsome debate on one big hub versus multis, because I think those were presented as future options in the report. So for us to make a decision on that today is a little concerning to me.
Costs range from $8.7 to $32 million, depending on council's decision. Keenan Sorokhan, CTV News, Saskatoon.
Talks resumed this week between Alberta and its striking teachers, but a deal does not appear close.
It's a little disappointing that I think we're still quite a ways apart.
No one wanted this, but teachers will not stand by while classrooms crumble.
Province is looking over the latest offer from the teachers union. The government says it's offering to spend $2.6 billion over 4 years on teachers' salaries. Union is asking for $2 billion on top of that, but the finance minister in that province says that's not realistic. If the strike drags on, they will draft back-to-work legislation by October 27th. There is a deadly meth pipeline that runs from Canada to the other side of the world, New Zealand and Australia. In part 2 of the W5 series, Avery Haynes investigates the network behind the mass shipment smuggled in beer cans and the RCMP's response.
Police videotape a storage unit in Auckland, New Zealand, blanketed with meth from Canada. Some of those cans are filled with beer, others with liquid meth that was being turned into crystals.
It was what appeared to be methamphetamine just everywhere.
The sophisticated international operation was a lead story.
The largest ever single haul of meth in the country.
Red Stripe beer from Toronto, bottles of kombucha from the U.S., and coconut water from India, filled with meth. In New Zealand, 2 people have been charged, the importer and the man who's seen here removing cases of beer.
You have the right to remain silent.
Jimmy Callan was found guilty of manslaughter for mistakenly giving away beer that still contained meth, killing an innocent young man, 21-year-old Aiden Segala. But who's investigating the people in Canada behind the shipment? RCMP Chief Superintendent Mathieu Bertrand.
I can't speak to that, but the RCMP was not involved.
But a later statement acknowledges that the RCMP received intelligence reports, did background checks, and a cursory analysis of the network. No one in Canada has been charged.
That's just shocking.
2.5 years after his death, Aiden's sister Angela thought Canada would do more.
Yeah, nothing happening by the sounds of things.
Here's what we've been able to uncover. The Canadian company that shipped the beer is called Petrichor Beverages, Inc. The director, Azizdeep Singh Sandhu, and there's a phone number.
I'm working on a story about a company that you're the director of. Petrichor?
No.
Sandhu claims he knows nothing about Petrichor, Honey Bear beer, or meth.
Do you mind sending me all these paperwork so I can take a look?
Sure.
He may be a victim of identity theft, but since then, he's fallen off the face of the earth. Not replying to my emails, he's blocked my phone number and removed his profile picture. This house in Delta, British Columbia, with a value of $1.3 million, was purchased by Azizdeep Sandhu in March of 2023, the same month, the same year that Aiden Segala died in New Zealand. We know someone's inside, but repeated knocks at the front and around back are ignored.
Hello? Aziz?
Then a man bolts for his car.
Jerry, get back in.
And we follow.
Okay, give him some room. Give him some room. I think he knows that we're following him. He's obviously trying to lose us. Oh, he just did a Yui. He just flew past us. He's going really fast.
We lost him. But our investigation seems to have gone further than the RCMP's. Before he blocked me, Sandhu claimed he'd never been contacted by the RCMP.
Would it surprise you to know that there's been no arrests in Canada?
Wow. Wow.
This is Aiden's brother-in-law, Billy.
This is murder. To be honest, I see it's murder.
Part 3 airs tonight on CTV National News. A video from an animal removal company in southern Ontario is now going viral. Here's why.
All right, buddy, hang on.
A raccoon was stuck, needing some help getting out of a hole at a home in London, Ontario. Owner called wildlife control and a worker used a rope to gently pull the raccoon out. It quickly jumped down a ladder and ran away unharmed. The video of the encounter has gathered about 12 million views so far. Silly trash pandas. Now to a big change coming to a major airline. Sam Champion has more on it and when it could take flight.
Can anyone who actually reclines their seat on the airplane walk me through your thought process?
It's the high-flying debate that can cause cabin pressures to rise.
It's totally okay to recline your seat. That's what it's there for.
To recline or not to recline, on average, it's only 2 to 3 inches here.
I think that you should be able to recline your seat on a 10-hour flight. I told her, I was like, if you want to be comfy, get first class.
But for some, there's no question. But now airlines like Canada's WestJet are making it a financial decision, rolling out reconfigured planes starting this month with standard economy seats that don't allow you to push back and relax. If you do want to recline, now it'll cost you.
Airlines are figuring out how to segment pricing all across the board. And if you want a little extra comfort, you're going to pay for it. That's what they're saying to everyone.
The changes will roll out on 43 WestJet planes with standard economy seats featuring a, quote, fixed recline design. The airline saying it will help preserve personal space. Extended comfort and premium seats that do recline are also available if you pay more. WestJet bright-siding, calling this an investment in, quote, guest experience, saying the cabin has been thoughtfully designed to offer WestJet's welcoming service at every budget. But flight attendants are bracing for a bumpy flight.
We have been saying for almost 60 years, sit back, relax, and enjoy your flight. And now people are going to come with that expectation and not be able to do that. And every time that happens, we usually have to deal with conflict on board.
We go to recline or not to recline, Kayleen. That's the big debate.
I am not a recliner. I know that the seats have it for a reason, but I do not do that.
Director Corey really wants us to get to this contest.
All right. Well, the PBR Saskatoon Classic is coming to SaskTel Centre in Saskatoon October 24th and 25th, and we want you to get in on all the action. Enter online now at ctvsaskatoon.ca or ctvregina.ca for a chance to win a family pack of 4 tickets for the Saturday night show. Now let's turn our attention back to this weather picture. We're still not seeing a whole lot, at least for Regina. Things are improving in Saskatoon, though. But this morning view, it's brought to you by recyclemyelectronics.ca, where you can find a drop-off location near you. We're still sitting at 6 degrees with this fog to wake us up in Regina. Winds not a concern for you this morning, really anywhere in the province. They're not going to be a concern for you this afternoon either. They are going to be very noticeable, though, as we head into the weekend, where we see some gusty conditions on Saturday and Sunday. -3 right now in Saskatoon. Things have been fluctuating a bit this morning. We are waking up to that nice mix of sun and cloud, though. And again, we have been seeing a lot of improvements when it comes to that fog there. It was about an hour ago now that Saskatoon was at 0.6 kilometers with Regina. Now they're at 3.2 kilometers, so that's nice to see. Still seeing some reduced visibility in North Battleford, Meadow Lake, and Prince Albert this morning as well. The futurecast showing that we are going to be seeing some more rain down in the southeast this afternoon and into the overnight hours. That has already been falling. It started yesterday. Still going to be seeing some of that cloud cover as well into the afternoon for areas down in the southeast in particular. Saskatoon could be seeing a lot more sunshine today than what Regina is expecting, and Regina has about a 40% chance of seeing some of that rain starting to fall into those late evening hours. Now, as we continue on to look into our weekend, we do see some more rain coming in from Alberta, impacting areas in the southwest tomorrow into the afternoon hours. But then Saturday is looking really clear from that precipitation, just seeing a little bit of cloud cover to stick around with those wind gusts that are going to be increasing on Saturday. Current temperatures showing Spiritwood at -4, Nipawin 3 degrees, Hudson Bay warmer 7 degrees, and we're seeing some more of that warmth as we look down towards the south. Assiniboia, Moose Jaw, Weyburn, Estevan, Yorkton, all those areas sitting at 7 degrees right now to start the day. Later on in the afternoon, a lot of areas going to be right around that seasonal average point. Mix of sun and cloud for Swift Current up to 12 degrees, Moose Jaw up to 12, and we will be seeing some sunshine when that fog decides to lift. Yorkton up to 12 degrees this afternoon, and Prince Albert up to 12 degrees as well. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast. So we are seeing some fairly nice temperatures, or right around the average for the weekend, and then dropping down to about 6 degrees on Monday. So that's going to be a cool day with that rain on the way. 10 degrees on Tuesday and 9 degrees on Wednesday. In Saskatoon, we're seeing that 11-degree point carry us all the way through our weekend. Some more rain on the way on Sunday and continuing into Monday. Your morning just got a whole lot richer. We're giving away a staggering $20,000, and it's time for today's code word. Imagine what you could do with an extra 20 grand. The possibilities are endless. Today's code word is vacation. Head to the contest page on our website or scan that QR code on your screen. Enter the code word along with your info for your chance to win CTV Your Morning Saskatchewan's $20,000 giveaway.
As holiday shopping season approaches, more Canadians are turning to artificial intelligence for help. A new report finds half of shoppers say they've used AI in the past 3 months. CTV's Caitlin Wilson has more.
Amanda Kiley isn't shopping for the holidays just yet, but she's already getting a little help from ChatGPT.
I get it to help me because I have 4 kids, so it makes it easier to get ChatGPT to help me organize it. I do ask where to go.
Deloitte's new holiday retail outlook found half of those surveyed have used artificial intelligence in the past 3 months, up from 33% last year. And about 1 in 4 say they plan to use AI tools this holiday season. But whether it's online or in person, one thing hasn't changed. Most consumers are still chasing discounts.
AI is being leveraged to ensure that you get the most personalized experience from the brand and that they're resonating with you across all channels.
And while some are using AI to do custom searches, compare products, and get inspiration, the survey found only 17% of consumers fully trust AI and 70% worry about how much personal information it collects.
We'll be at the kitchen table, we'll talk about something we're looking at getting, and then all of a sudden, the next day, something pops up, so obviously it's a little bit spooky.
Others, like Ann Scott, who is picking up an online order, say she doesn't mind the occasional personalized discount as long as the technology doesn't go too far.
I'm not big on artificial intelligence because it drives me crazy that Big Brother is watching everything you might search.
Deloitte says on average, 1 in 4 shoppers now expect retailers to use AI, but earning the trust of consumers could be the biggest deal of all.
I think it's a very interesting concept, but I'm also a little bit concerned what they do with that data.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Staying with AI, there's a new warning out about a viral social media trend involving artificial intelligence. It's called the AI homeless man prank. Police are warning young people that it is potentially dangerous. Will Reeve has more.
Imagine picking up your phone and you see an intruder at your door, in your living room, even in your bed.
We do not know this man. Tell him to get out.
That's exactly what's happening across the country on social media.
We can feed him, and then he said he'd stay for the night.
But these images are not real.
It just let people in our house.
They're part of a trend called the AI homeless man prank, where users deploy artificial intelligence to create fake images of a man inside your home. Police are warning it needs to stop now.
You're causing your friends or your family to panic, to think you're in danger. Number 2, you're tying up a police public safety answering point, a 911 dispatch center. You're wasting the police resources.
A Google search of homeless man prank turns up a website which gives instructions on how to create the image. In certain states like Massachusetts, broadcasting false information to public safety officials can be a punishable offense of up to 2.5 years in prison. So what should you do if you find yourself on the receiving end of one of these images?
We will get to the bottom of the matter if it's a real crime or if it's a prank. If you're thinking this is funny or you're thinking this is something you may want to try, please think twice.
All right, let's head back out on the go to Janella Pye, who is with Regina Plumbing and Heating.
All right, I'm coming back to you here with Simon from Regina Plumbing and Heating one more time here this morning. Now, Simon, we've talked lots about the Napoleon furnace behind you here. Let's again emphasize the importance of maintenance during the fall.
Yeah, so service is super important because you want to be ready for the cold weather that's coming here in the winter. So all you do is just give us a call at Regina Plumbing, 306-585-2000. The girls will answer the phone and get you booked in to get your servicing done. If your furnace is on the fritz and has some issues, give us a call. We'll come to your home and we'll give you a quote at no charge whatsoever, no obligation, and we can find the right fit for your home for sure.
Okay,
Yes.
and for those who are maybe watching and thinking about getting that servicing done and they need to, allot that time during the day, how long does a service typically take?
Sometimes it only can take half an hour, maybe 20 minutes. It's just depending. It may take a little bit longer. Every furnace is completely different because you got your mid efficients, you got your low boys, and then obviously you have your high efficients.
All right. Okay, and these Napoleon furnaces are completely Canadian made.
100% Canadian made, no tariffs, all out of Barrie, Ontario is where they're made. They are just a fantastic unit. These are the 9700 units, which are the top of the line, whisper quiet. But we also have the 9600 series, which is one down a little bit by 1% of efficiency to 96% efficiencies. And both furnaces are eligible for a Sask Energy rebate.
Fantastic, Simon. All right, and maybe if somebody's watching and is interested, how can they get to you guys? Where can they find more information?
Just give us a call at Regina Plumbing and Heating at 306-585-2000.
All right, Simon, thank you so much for being here with me this morning. That's all from me. Remember to get your furnaces maintenance here. Regina Plumbing and Heating, once again, that is the Napoleon furnaces. Make sure you're getting that look after this year.
But I keep coming back like a revolving door. Said I want you less, but I just want you more. So I keep coming back. Why you always come running to me?
Shakira has announced she's planning to close out the year with a special run of 2 concerts in Miami this December. The Hips Don't Lie singer is currently on tour through Latin America after a sold-out North American run earlier this year.
Let's get battle ready.
The K-pop Demon Hunters are returning to the big screen. A sing-along version of the hit animated musical, which debuted on Netflix earlier this year, will play in theaters October 31st through November 2nd. Tickets go on sale this Friday. And speaking of performances, No Doubt is expanding its run of shows at the Sphere in Las Vegas. The band adding 6 additional performances in May due to what they call massive fan demand. This marks No Doubt's first extended tour in 14 years. It's also the 30th anniversary of their hit album, Tragic Kingdom.
We keep waiting on the world to change.
And he may still be waiting on the world to change, but at least he won't have to wait on that birthday cake anymore. John Mayer turns 48 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Jacqueline Lee, ABC News, Los Angeles.
A young football player's big-time moment is going viral after he was handed the ball on the last play of the game in a stunning display of sportsmanship.
Yeah, and as Steve Patterson learned, it was all the hard work leading up to that play that gave the whole team a valuable lesson.
On the very last play of the game, 8-year-old Big John Lyles was handed his big moment. There he is, number 52. He ran with it all the way, 85 yards. The players on both teams, on the field and sidelines, running with him. The video going viral. But John had to work hard to get here.
When we first put pads on him, oh my good night, we had a meltdown.
John has autism, which can make some basic kid stuff really tough. So this year, John's Nana, Sherry Jackson, called a big audible, switching him from a specialized school right into the halls of Westside Elementary in Arkansas. And to give John structure, a spot on the football team. Her one rule, no special treatment.
We don't treat him any different. We may be a little softer on him, even though his Nana tells us not to.
For all this hard work, the whole team wanted to find a way to give back. So Coach drew up the very last play of the game.
As soon as he touched that touchdown, everybody went on the field and was jumping and saying, John, John, John.
A small show of sportsmanship giving way to something much bigger than football.
They all love him. He is living his best life.
Steve Patterson, NBC News.
I love stunning displays like that.
Oh my gosh, and how sweet are those kids?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's very proud parents, I'm sure. Let's get to your sidebar for this part of the hour.
All right, well, Vancouver's Science World is ready to host a special FIFA exhibition right before they host the World Cup next summer.
From May 15th to September 7th, 2026, Soccer and Technology from the FIFA Museum will take visitors from the pitch to the broadcast booth.
The exhibit will be making its North American debut. It explores how innovation is changing soccer, from smart data and refereeing technique to broadcasting and stadium design. Okay. It's backed by the province and will arrive after the launch of another FIFA-inspired exhibit called The Science of Sport.
I really want to go to one of these games. I know it's going to cost an arm and a leg and a flight and a hotel.
Yeah.
Well, you can always stay with my grandmother.
Oh, yes. That would be a very eye-opening experience. I'm sure she has childlike photos of you.
Yes, she would cook for you. You can stay with her in Vancouver.
I could learn all kinds of Sawatsky-isms. Jeremy, what do you have for us?
All right, thinking about Halloween costumes, here's what we're going to see based on an annual consumer survey. Top Halloween costume for kids this year, Spider-Man. And then, more than 2 million children apparently planning to dress up as the web slinger. Others in the top 5, Princess, Witch, Ghost. We've seen those forever, and they're still right up there. Apparently, though, if you're going to dress up your pet for dogs, Pumpkin is the way to go, if you really must.
I really wanted to find my daughter a chicken costume because she really nails the bok bok right now.
She does.
And I couldn't find a chicken costume.
What would you have gone as then? If you're currently going to do chef and lobster?
I don't know. I didn't think about it that much.
The chicken or the Sadie? We're back after this.